You're being a good person. I spent 500,000. So let us just cover that too, shall we? Ding Xiang felt somewhat defeated. Don't take advantage of the situation. You're making a whopping 50 million. And you still care about this 500,000? Qinyang chuckled. A mosquito leg is still meat. Not to mention 500,000? My Mustang only cost me 600,000. In the end, two people signed a sales contract, priced at 55 million. Ding. The transfer was successful. Qinyang sighed. Ding Mainv. You really are a big boss. Over 50 million, just like that. This liquidity is impressive. He counted his total assets. Originally, there were 9 million. He spent 500,000 on a Qing Dynasty ceramic horse and received 55 million from selling a Tang Sankai horse. His current total wealth, 9 million. Wow. How did I become so wealthy all of a sudden? Thank you, Tongzi Gu. Without you, I would never have dreamed of earning so much. Ding. Gained 10 points. Current total points, 650. Keep it up. As soon as he mentioned the system, it popped up immediately. The upgrade consumed points, but it was slowly recovering. Seeing the money and points increasing, Qinyang felt particularly fulfilled. The funding issue for the upcoming trip to Cayenne City was resolved. Just wait. Entering the Stone Gambling Conference. With the golden eyes, it would be hard not to get rich, right? He sweet-talked and persuaded Han Feishue and the others to leave, staying alone. So, what is going on? Why the mystery? Ding Xiang sat opposite him, using her cute water cup to brew a cup of exquisite Mao foam tea for Qinyang. Watching the tea leaves swirl in the hot water, Qinyang took a sniff. So fragrant. Why are you suddenly so nice to me? Ding Xiang rolled her eyes. When have I ever been unkind to you, you ingrate? Qinyang smiled awkwardly. From now on, every time I come, I want to drink the best tea. Ding Xiang replied. All right, my little Yang, I'll keep this best tea for you, just waiting for your grand visit. After saying this, she sighed softly, her mood sinking. Qinyang became serious and asked, come on, what is the matter? Are you facing some difficulties? Ding Xiang sighed deeply. You remember last time I invited you to the Stone Gambling Conference in Cayenne City, right? Qinyang nodded. As you know, our Jinbao Pavilion is a family business with chain stores all around the world, and it's quite large. The selection of the family heir is based on an ancient tradition. Only the legitimate heirs can inherit, and the capable ones are prioritized. There are no obstacles for women inheriting the family business. Now, the older generation has stepped back, and the current generation is fiercely competing for the position of heir. Among us, there are 3 people with competitive strength. Besides me, there is my second grandfather's legitimate grandson, the eldest son of the Ding family, Ding Xiufeng, and my third grandfather's only granddaughter, Ding family's second miss, Ding Feng. I am the only granddaughter of the first branch, and since my ancestors and parents have been the family heads, I have a slight advantage. However, the second and third branches have lost twice in a row, and this time, they are going all out to secure the inheritance rights. So you see, I have a lot of pressure. Qinyang nodded. Internal conflicts in such large families can be intense. So what problems are you facing now? How can I help you? Ding Xiang explained. According to the regulations, the 3 of us all have inheritance rights. However, who will ultimately be chosen as the next head of the family depends on ability. The method of testing is through 2 trials. The first trial is the upcoming Stone Gambling Conference. The family has placed a heavy bet, and whoever among the 3 of us gains the most in the Stone Gambling Conference will receive a 10 stake in the Treasure Pavilion. With this 10 stake, one can establish a foothold within the family. Even if one fails in the final challenge, they can still become a member of the family's highest decision-making body. The second trial will be the next Jade public auction in the old country. Whoever among us can become the biggest winner will receive a 30 stake and directly become the heir to the family, the young master of the Ding family. Qinyang was astonished. Your family's rules are quite unique. The one who ultimately prevails must possess great ability, courage, insight, and even connections, reputation, personal charm, and so on. It's both strict and full of wisdom. Ding Xiang strongly agreed. Our Ding family has been able to continue and grow stronger because we strictly implement a competitive mechanism where the capable rise and the incompetent fall. This time, I'm not worried about Ding Feng. I heard she has already infiltrated the old country in advance, laying the groundwork for the future Jade auction, focusing on the final battle. However, Ding Xiufeng, like me, has stayed in the country to build up strength. The key is that I heard he has invited a formidable figure to act as a military advisor for this trip. This person is known as the Divine Eye and is recognized as a master appraiser in the stone gambling circle. Some within the family predict that Ding Xiufeng will surely win this gambling conference. Chapter 79. Housewarming Celebration. Is someone causing trouble? The strength of the opponent made Ding Xiang very anxious. I haven't been able to eat or sleep well these past few days, fearing the final outcome. At that moment, she appeared particularly fragile. Qinyang leaned over and gently patted her shoulder. Don't worry too much. Maybe the situation isn't as bad as it seems. Ding Xiang forced a smile. Actually, it's not just about myself. I mainly don't want to disappoint my family. Qinyang understood very well. The main house has been in charge of the family for decades. If they lose the head position in Ding Xiang's generation, how could they accept it? It would affect everything. It's not just a matter of one head of the family. It involves the development of the group, the future of the family, the distribution of benefits, and so on. It touches upon every aspect. This is a major issue concerning the survival of a family. It cannot be taken lightly. Ding Xiang's complexion looked quite poor, as she was under immense pressure. Qinyang softly comforted her. Don't worry, I will definitely help you. Ding Xiang felt a bit more at ease. This time, she hadn't invited the most skilled stone gambling master. But her elders had arranged for a very capable appraiser for her. Coupled with Chun Yang's unique talent for spotting opportunities, perhaps they still have a fighting chance. After comforting Ding Xiang, when Qinyang left the treasure pavilion, it was already late. Tomorrow would be the housewarming day. Qinyang drove to the lakeside villa to see how the preparations were going. Along the way, he connected to the car's Bluetooth and called Black Tiger, briefly reporting the information about Kita Kojiro. Black Tiger was pleased. You, wandering around aimlessly, can still stumble upon spies. The entire third team can't catch spies as quickly as you do alone. Did you grow a dog's nose that can smell them from 800 miles away? Qinyang was not happy. Brother Tiger, if you can't give compliments, I advise you not to exaggerate in the future. What do you mean by a dog's nose? I have talent. My sixth sense is exceptionally strong. You should be grateful to have introduced me to the third team. Although I'm just a consultant with a bit lower treatment, my value is definitely worth more than what you pay. Black Tiger's expression darkened. Qinyang, can we have a little conscience? What do you mean just a consultant? What do you mean lower treatment? You are a 22-year-old fresh graduate, and I let you bear the responsibilities of a major and a battalion commander. Is this consultant position really that bad? You have no assignments, no clocking in, no responsibilities, no targets, and do nothing while receiving 10,000 a month. Is that treatment really that bad? Qinyang rubbed his temples, smiling awkwardly. Brother Tiger, that is not what I meant. You're misinterpreting. The point is that I'm worth more. Black Tiger's tone softened. That is true. You may not be good at other things, but you are indeed skilled at catching spies. Qinyang became unhappy again. What do you mean by not good at other things? What am I lacking? Clarify that for me. Black Tiger defended. You got the direction wrong. The key point is that you are good at catching spies. Qinyang was speechless. When did this honest kid learn to be bad? Brother Tiger, when we crack the case and achieve results, don't forget my contributions. Black Tiger laughed. Don't worry, you one team miss out on your benefits. By the way, this little guy may not move in the short term, so if you encounter him again, report the latest news at any time. Qinyang nodded in agreement. Upon arriving at the lakeside villa, he saw that everything was ready. Han Feishue and Feng Danqing were truly attentive, thinking through every aspect. Qinyang felt reassured and went straight to bed in the villa. Qinyang's bedroom was personally prepared by Feng Danqing and Han Feishue. All the bedding was of high quality with a great feel, making it very comfortable to sleep on. The next morning, as soon as he opened his eyes, Qinyang immediately checked the latest intelligence. Ding! Today's intelligence refreshed. Intelligence 1. The mastermind behind Lu Cc will attend the Stone Gambling Conference. Intelligence 2. There will be trouble on the occasion of the housewarming today. Intelligence 3. Today, on Hushin Island, he will meet a remarkable person and gain some insights. Qinyang quickly checked the first piece of intelligence. The image showed an arrogant young man, Fang Haoyan, the heir of the top conglomerate in Jiangnan province, sitting in a luxurious office, sipping red wine and inquiring with his assistant. Have you figured out Lu Cic's schedule? The assistant replied nervously. Yes. She will attend the opening ceremony of the Stone Gambling Conference on time. On Fang Haoyan's face, a charming smile appeared. All right. Have you prepared everything I asked you to do? The assistant quickly nodded. Young master, everything has been arranged according to your instructions. Fang Haoyan laughed heartily. Good. This time, let's see how that despicable Lu Cici can escape from my grasp. As the scene shifted, Qinyang felt a shiver down his spine. Fang Haoyan's power was immense, and he had made preparations in advance. This trip to Kaiyun City would likely be quite turbulent. He needed to be extremely cautious. He checked the second piece of intelligence. The information was not very clear. It only mentioned that another wealthy individual lived in the villa area and would proactively cause trouble today. The specifics were vague. This matter could only be dealt with as it unfolded. Take one step at a time. Sigh. Even with a housewarming celebration, someone has to stir up trouble. It's really frustrating. The third piece of intelligence was very bizarre. There was a recluse on Lake Island with high cultivation. If Qinyang could seize the opportunity, he might be able to take him as a master and learn some secrets of the world that were unknown to most. After reading the intelligence, Qinyang had a plan in mind. He quickly freshened up and drove to the first hospital of the city. He first arrived at Bai Yuyan's office. Sister Yan, are you not taking a day off today? Bai Yuyan smiled brightly upon seeing Qinyang. Yang, you're here so early? Are you here to pick up your uncle and aunt? Qinyang nodded. Bai Yuyan continued. I took the day off today and came to the hospital specifically to wait for you. Qinyang was surprised. Wait for me. Bai Yuyan smiled. I know you're coming to pick them up, and I was worried that you, a big man, wouldn't take care of them properly. Your uncle is still in recovery, so it's better to be cautious. That's why I came to help you ensure they get to the villa safely. Qinyang felt touched. Sister Yan, you're really kind. Bai Yuyan gave him a sidelong glance. You're just now realizing that. The two went to the hospital room together. His mother, Yang Aihua, immediately asked, Yangzi, where are you taking us today? His father, Chen Zhongshi, was equally curious. Yeah, going out, and you even bought me a wheelchair. What a waste. I'm perfectly fine now. I can walk a few steps. Qinyang smiled and explained, Mom and Dad. I'm taking you out of the hospital today, and the distance is quite far, so you need to use the wheelchair. Yang Aihua was even more curious. Where exactly are we going? Qinyang laughed. Didn't I tell you last time? I bought a villa by the Daming Lake. Today, we're officially moving in, and I've invited a few good friends over to celebrate. I want you to come and help liven things up. Yang Aihua was astonished. Son, are you serious? Qinyang did not answer directly. You'll know if it's true when you see it today. The elderly couple was skeptical, but immediately started to pack their things. Chen Zhongshi sat in the wheelchair, and Qinyang pushed him into the elevator to go downstairs. Bai Yuyan and Yang Aihua linked arms and followed behind, chatting as they walked. Dr. Bai, did Yangzi really buy a big house? Have you seen it? Bai Yuyan shook her head. I haven't been there, but I'd like to check it out. It was the first time sitting in Chen Yang's Wrangler. Both his father, Chen Zhongshi, and his mother, Yang Aihua, were astonished. They touched this and looked at that, hardly believing it was real. Son, is this really your car? Qinyang couldn't help but smile helplessly. He took out a vehicle registration document. Dad, Mom, it says right here that the owner is your son. Yang Aihua, who couldn't read, picked up the document and asked Bai Yuyan to verify it. Bai Yuyan had no choice but to examine it carefully. Auntie, it does say here that the owner is Qinyang. Yang Aihua let out a quiet sigh of relief, finally believing that Qinyang wasn't bragging. When the Wrangler stopped at the entrance of the lakeside villa, the elderly couple refused to get out of the car. Chapter 80. A huge gift stuns everyone. The parents were terrified. What did they see through the car window? Was that a house? It looked more like a palace or a castle. The white tiles and transparent glass, 3 or 4 stories high, were luxuriously exquisite. Everything exuded opulence. There was a lake in front and a small hill behind. The yard had a large patch of grass, with various flowers and neatly trimmed grass. Such a luxurious building. Could it be for ordinary people like them? Would living in such a nice house mean losing a year of life for just one day? In Chen Zhongshi's eyes, there was envy and apprehension. Yang Aihua nodded. Yes. Yangzi, your dad and I are both from the countryside. How could we live in a palace? Qinyang smiled helplessly. I never thought someone would complain that their house is too beautiful. Dad, Mom, don't panic. I'm just showing you around today. I'm not forcing you to live here. I've already asked Su Wenqing for help to tear down and rebuild the house back home. Once Dad's health improves, we can return to a new house, which will also be a big villa. Chen Zhongshi and Yang Aihua were shocked again. Son, you want to tear down the house? Qinyang nodded. Yang Aihua grew worried. We have a lot of things at home. We can't just throw them away. Qinyang laughed. They're just some old items. They won't be needed in the new house. If you really can't bear to part with them, I can ask Wenqing to store them in a warehouse. Chen Zhongshi expressed his concern. Yangzi, the new house won't be built like this, will it? Yang Aihua felt the same way. We can't live in something like this. Keep it simpler. Qinyang smiled. All right. The house will be less extravagant and as simple as possible. The elderly couple nodded with smiles. Qinyang urged, you should get out of the car. Today is just a visit to the new house. If you don't want to stay, you can go back to the hospital. Wait a moment. There are many friends coming, and I need to be ready to receive them. All right. We can't be too rude. The two elders finally took their time to get out of the car. Bai Yuyan held back her laughter and, together with Yang Aihua, pushed the wheelchair inside. Qinyang parked the car in the garage, leaving the open space outside for guests to park. As Chen Zhongshi, Yang Aihua, and Bai Yuyan walked through the main entrance, the staff waiting by the roadside immediately greeted them with smiles and enthusiastic cheers, welcoming the master and mistress home. Welcome, Dr. Bai, to visit. It must be said that Han Feishue and Feng Danqing had done an exceptionally meticulous job in the preparations. In a short time, they had arranged for Chunyang to recruit security guards, cleaners, chefs, and housekeepers for today's housewarming banquet. They even specially transferred dozens of young and beautiful female employees from their respective companies to temporarily serve as waitstaff and greeters. The female servers all wore fashionable pink suits, while the greeters were dressed in classic red kipayos, creating a festive and beautiful atmosphere that made everything lively and grand. Furthermore, every potential guest had been pre-trained, allowing all staff to recognize their general appearance and conduct appropriate receptions. That is why there was such an impressive scene just now, leaving Chen Zhongshi and Yang Aihua astonished. Having lived a simple life, they were surprised by how things had changed, feeling like they had become the wealthy landowners and dignified ladies. The two elders quickly waved their hands, saying it was too much. The housekeeper was a graceful and beautiful young woman in her 30s, well-versed in handling social situations. She stepped forward, slightly bowing, and introduced herself with a smile. Master, mistress, I am the housekeeper, Bao Qingqing. You can call me Xiao Qing. Today is a joyful occasion. This is just a formality, and you don't need to pay too much attention to it. The elders settled down a bit, but still hesitated to step forward. Just then, Chen Yang rushed over from inside, pushing his father in the wheelchair and signaling Bai Yuyan to help his mother. They all entered the villa together. At the entrance of the grand hall on the first floor, Han Feishue and Feng Danqing were dressed in splendid attire, looking stunning. They both knelt in classical greeting style, welcoming the master, mistress, and young master home. Yang Aihua's eyes brightened. Could these two beauties also be the household staff? They didn't seem like it. They looked so beautiful and had an elegant aura. Chen Yang jokingly scolded, "What are you two up to? You almost scared my parents at the door. They nearly didn't want to come in." Feng Danqing blushed and smiled shyly, while Han Feishue made a funny face. "How was it? Did it feel okay?" Chen Yang chuckled, "Not bad. It's got a bit of that nouveau riche, local tycoon vibe." Haha. Yang Aihua's curiosity was piqued. "Yangzi, who are these two?" Chen Yang quickly introduced, "Dad, Mom. These two beauties are my good friends, Han Feishue and Feng Danqing. They are both presidents of large companies, worth billions." Feng helped with the decoration of this villa, and today's housewarming ceremony was also organized with their assistance. Yang Aihua and Chen Zhongshi were unsure whether to be surprised. "My son is impressive. The beautiful CEO is a good friend. She even helped with the renovations and preparations for the ceremony. What a face to show." Han Feishue and Feng Danqing immediately greeted Yang Aihua and Chen Zhongshi. "Hello, uncle and aunt." The two women were warm and generous, which Yang Aihua really liked. It was 9 a.m. There was still time. The guests had to wait a little longer. Everyone sat in the hall, chatting casually. Bai Yuyan noticed a hostess at the entrance, specifically registering gifts. She hurried over and handed her a greeting card. The hostess read it softly. "Congratulations on your new home." A red envelope of 200,000. Bai Yuyan. The hostess was startled and quickly called Chen Yang over. Everyone heard what was just said and was quite surprised. A doctor, even if they were a department head, giving such a lavish gift of 200,000? That's too exaggerated. Chen Yang smiled and said, "Sister Yan, with such a heavy gift, how am I supposed to repay you in the future?" Bai Yuyan chuckled, "I don't need you to repay me. If you really want to, just return 200 as a token." Saying this, she picked up her phone and operated it a bit. Ding dong. A text from the mobile banking app sounded. 200,000 received. Total assets were originally 68.9 million. After the deposit of 200,000, the current total wealth, 69.1 million. Great. The wealth value is steadily approaching 70 million. Keep pushing. Chen Zhongshi and Yang Aihua were so shocked they couldn't speak. A person giving 200,000 as a gift? In their hometown, after a wedding. With hundreds of relatives and friends, the total gift money wouldn't even reach 200,000. That's terrifying. Han Feishue and Feng Danqing exchanged glances and also handed out beautifully designed greeting cards. The hostess read them as usual. Han Feishue wished Mr. Chen Yang a prosperous new home, with great wealth. Gift, 8 sets of high-end branded clothing. Total price, 660,000. Feng Danqing wished Mr. Chen Yang great joy in moving, wishing him smooth sailing. Gift, 2 Vacheron Constantine watches. Total price, 880,000. Chapter 81. Am I living off others? Is this clarification or solid proof? Wow. The scene erupted in an uproar. Everyone was stunned. Is this gift-giving or flaunting wealth? Is it really necessary to make such a big deal out of a housewarming? Tens of thousands at a time. What kind of friends do you have, and how close are your relationships to be able to give such gifts? Bai Yuyan smiled wryly. She felt a bit stingy herself. Usually busy with work and without any secretaries or assistants to handle various matters, she could only keep it simple with a red envelope. Unexpectedly, these two wealthy women directly went for the big guns. Had she known, Bai Yuyan would have stuffed in 1 million. If she wasn't going to save face, she shouldn't lose face either. Chen Yang was also a bit confused. What are you all doing? If you keep this up, how will I repay the favors without going bankrupt? Han Feishue laughed. Boss Chen, stop pretending to be poor. Who doesn't know your speed of making money is faster than a high-speed train? Chen Yang gladly accepted. Receiving gifts without accepting them, isn't that foolish? As for how to repay favors, we'll just take it step by step. If there's money, repay more. If not, repay less. We're not after that superficial reputation. Being honest is better. At this moment, Chen Zhongshi and Yang Aihua felt as if they were on cloud 9. It felt like they were stepping on soft clouds. Somewhat unreal. In less than 10 minutes, their son had already received gifts worth over 1 million? What kind of friends are these? At that moment, enthusiastic cheers were heard from outside. Welcome Su Wenqing to visit. Welcome Lu Changhe and his girlfriend to visit. Chen Yang immediately ran out to warmly embrace Su Wenqing and Lu Changhe. Good brothers, I'm so glad you could come. Lu Changhe quickly introduced his companion to Chen Yang. Yangzi, this is my girlfriend, Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu, this is my old classmate. Chen Yang, you can just call him Yang Ge. The girl was tall and graceful, looking very capable. In terms of appearance, she was more than a perfect match for Lu Changhe. Hello Yang Ge. Congratulations on your new home. Wishing you great fortune. Chen Yang smiled and thanked her. Thank you. Come in for some tea. Chen Yang led the three inside. Xiaoyu was sharp-eyed and noticed a gift table set up for registering cash gifts. She quickly nudged Lu Changhe with her elbow. Lu Changhe laughed and said, Wait a minute. Congratulations can't just be verbal. I've prepared a big red envelope. Saying this, he took out a thick red envelope from Xiaoyu's bag and walked towards the registration table. Xiaoyu's eyes flashed with reluctance. Both of them had average incomes. Lu Changhe worked on a construction site, while Xiaoyu worked at a factory. Their combined monthly salary was only around 12,000. After deducting rent, utilities, and daily expenses, there wasn't much left. Yet here was Lu Changhe planning to give a heavy gift of 10,000 for an old classmate's move. Xiaoyu firmly disagreed. In the end, they compromised at 8,000. Lu Changhe was not very satisfied, and Xiaoyu was also unwilling. To be honest, Xiaoyu did not quite understand the so-called camaraderie and brotherhood between Lu Changhe and Chen Yang. From Lu Changhe, Xiaoyu learned that although the villa belonged to Chen Yang, he had not been involved in any matters. Everything was handled by the boss of Lu Changhe's company, Feng Danqing. The original project worth 2 million was only charged at 120,000 by Feng, which didn't even cover the costs. What does this indicate? All signs pointed to Chen Yang being someone who relied on others. Whether the villa was a gift from Feng or whether Chen Yang had swindled it from another wealthy woman was uncertain. It was clear that someone had lived there. Whether the property belonged to him was also questionable. Now seeing him in person, Xiaoyu felt even more convinced of this, as Chen Yang was indeed handsome, young, strong, and had a good aura. Such assets. It's enough to captivate a whole group of envious women. Silly Lu Changhe actually spent such a large amount on someone who was living off others. Xiaoyu was certainly unhappy about it. If it were spent on Mr. Feng, she would have been more than delighted. At this moment, Su Wenqing smiled apologetically, taking out a relatively thinner red envelope. Yangzi, just a small token, it's a bit less. Don't mind it. The two walked towards the registration desk. Chen Yang quickly stopped them. Big Lu, Wenqing, what is our relationship? No need for those formalities. I'm just happy you both could come today. As for the red envelopes, you should take them back. Just your presence is enough. Xiaoyu secretly felt pleased. Chen Yang was quite understanding. 8,000 yuan. If saved, that could buy a lot of nice things. She was about to marry Lu Changhe, and there were many places where money was needed. Unfortunately, Lu Changhe and Su Wenqing both disagreed. You must accept this red envelope. Yes, if you don't accept it, it means you think the amount from your brother is too little. Then we'll leave right away. Their attitude was very firm. Chen Yang had no choice but to let it go. Lu Changhe was the first to step up to the registration desk, boldly slapping the red envelope on the table. Miss, please register, Lu Changhe, 8,000 yuan. The hostess smiled sweetly and called out loudly. Mr. Lu Changhe, accompanied by his girlfriend Miss Xiaoyu, congratulations on your new home. Gift, 8,000 yuan. This announcement immediately attracted everyone's attention. Lu Changhe was a bit surprised but accepted it calmly. Xiaoyu, on the other hand, was full of pride. 8,000 yuan. Surprised? Unexpected? Probably the highest amount here. Sure enough, when it was Su Wenqing's turn, he gently placed a red envelope down. Excuse me, Su Wenqing. 2,000 yuan. The hostess still smiled sweetly. Mr. Su Wenqing, congratulations on your new home. Gift, 2,000 yuan. Su Wenqing felt a bit embarrassed. Xiaoyu, however, became even prouder, beaming with joy. Without comparison, there would be no harm. To be honest, 2,000 is not a small amount, but compared to 8,000, it was far off. At this moment, Lu Changhe noticed that several entries were already recorded in the registration book. Taking a closer look, he couldn't help but gasp in shock. 200,000. Xiaoyu thought she heard wrong. Changhe, what are you talking about? A gift of 200,000? Why not say 1 million? Just as she finished speaking, Su Wenqing leaned over and looked closely, reading out two even more astonishing numbers. 660,000, 880,000. Oh my, am I seeing things? Xiaoyu was even more incredulous. Rushing over to examine it closely, she wondered, could this be some trick by Chen Yang? No wonder he could charm wealthy women. This method is extreme. To maintain appearances. Is he even fabricating the gift list? How could a casual gift amount to 880,000? This is ridiculous beyond belief. Who would believe it? Just then, there was another enthusiastic welcoming sound from the entrance. Miss Dingxiang, welcome. Chen Yang hurried over to greet her. Boss Ding, you arrived quite early. Ding Xiang was dressed in a classical palace-style outfit, exuding elegance and nobility, clearly a lady from a wealthy family. Really? I was worried I might arrive too late. I rushed all the way here. As they chatted, she signaled to her assistant to retrieve a delicate gift box from the car and placed it on the reception desk. Slowly, she unwrapped it to reveal a golden statue of the god of wealth, shining brilliantly in the sunlight. At the same time, she handed over a greeting card. The etiquette staff respectfully accepted it and read aloud. Ding Xiang wished Qin Yang, "Congratulations on your new home. Wishing you great fortune and wealth. Gifted, one statue of the pure gold god of wealth, total value 1 million. Upon hearing this, the entire venue fell silent. All eyes were focused on the dazzling statue. Chen Zhongshi and Yang Aihua exchanged glances and pinched each other. Old man, am I dreaming? Yangzi's mother, does it hurt? The staff on site were all stunned. They never expected that besides their two bosses, Mr. Qin Yang had such a wealthy friend. With just one gesture, a pure gold statue worth 1 million. With this deity, who wouldn't want to get rich? Would the god of wealth agree? Lu Changhe and Su Wenqing were already numb, unable to help but exclaim, Qin Yang has really changed. Xiao Yu was dumbfounded, staring at the pure gold god of wealth, frozen in place. Is there really someone who gifts 1 million? Chapter 82. Why is the gap between people so vast? Ding Xiang's gift amazed everyone. Everyone gathered around to catch a glimpse of the god of wealth. Several young female servers clasped their hands together in front of the golden statue, bowing in worship, reciting prayers. Please, god of wealth, bless me with great fortune this year. O god of wealth, I wish you would send me a wealthy and handsome young man, please. Uncle god of wealth, you're so handsome. Can you find me a guy as handsome as you? Xiao Yu was truly startled. If the amounts on the previous gift list could possibly be fabricated by Qin Yang, this glittering golden god of wealth could not be a fabrication, right? Could it be that her assumptions were wrong? Qin Yang was not dependent on others. On the contrary, he was very popular. But it didn't make sense. Why were all these beauties so drawn to him? Was it really just because he was so handsome? At that moment, Qin Yang suddenly received a call from Lu Sisi. Qin Yang, I'm almost at the villa entrance, but my car is blocked and I can't get in. Qin Yang immediately ran out. Upon reaching 200 meters away, he indeed saw 5 cars blocking the road. Lu Sisi and Xiao Yu got out of the car and were negotiating with the drivers, but it didn't seem to be going well. Qin Yang rushed over to greet the group of drivers. Excuse me, could you please move your cars a bit so my friends can come through? One of the young drivers, full of arrogance, said, Sorry, this is the vehicle of the president of the Zhang Group. President Zhang will be back shortly, and we can't easily move it. Otherwise, our jobs might be at risk. Qin Yang felt a surge of surprise. The Zhang Group was a well-known conglomerate in Jiangqing, and their actions were often somewhat overbearing. He patiently continued the conversation. Could we move one car to clear half of the road? The young driver shook his head, refusing to cooperate. Not a single car could be moved. Qin Yang's anger flared. Who does this guy think he is, acting all high and mighty? Just because the Zhang Group is powerful, does that mean a mere driver can act so arrogant? As they were at a standstill, a group of people approached from a distance, surrounding a middle-aged man with a large belly. The young driver hurried over to greet him. Uncle, President Zhang, you're back. The middle-aged man frowned and glanced at him without saying anything. The young driver quickly reported, President Zhang, someone is causing trouble, asking us to move the car. A man and a woman. The man's identity is unclear, but the woman seems to be a famous singer, Lu Sisi. Zhang Dajiang curled his lip. Lu Sisi? Just a singer, nothing to fuss about. He walked straight up to Lu Sisi. Hello, Miss Lu, I'm Zhang Dajiang. May I have the honor of inviting you to lunch? Lu Sisi frowned slightly. I'm sorry, President Zhang, but I have an important event to attend today. The smile on Zhang Dajiang's face gradually faded as he turned to Qin Yang. May I ask who you are? Qin Yang smiled. I'm Qin Yang, the owner of Villa Number 8. I'm officially moving in today. Zhang Dajiang's smile turned into a forced one as he began to probe. Villa Number 8? What a coincidence. I live in Villa Number 6, right next door. May I ask what you do, Mr. Qin? Qin Yang replied casually. Nothing much. Just taking a break at home for now. Zhang Dajiang's smile vanished instantly. A jobless drifter? How does someone like that deserve to live next to me? Qin Yang reminded him. President Zhang, could you please move your car? Zhang Dajiang ignored him and turned back to Lu Sisi. Miss Lu, have you really considered it? Lu Sisi felt extreme disgust. What is wrong with this person? He clearly had been rejected but continued to harass her. He lacked the demeanor of a significant figure. Qin Yang was increasingly annoyed. Damn, this Zhang Dajiang doesn't think much of himself, trying to poach right in front of me. However, today was a day of celebration for his move, and he didn't want to cause any trouble that would ruin everyone's mood. Zhang Dajiang took a deep look at Lu Sisi and Qin Yang, then got into his car with an unhappy expression. Today, he was leading his company's team to inspect the famous lake. He didn't want to complicate matters. Based on insider information subtly hinted at by a certain deputy mayor, the famous lake was about to be developed into a tourist destination for Jiangqing. Zhang Dajiang needed to seize this opportunity and plan ahead. Striving for greater benefits in the near future, the road has been restored to smooth traffic. Lu Sisi and Xiaoya walked into the villa gate. 2 rows of beautiful and elegant hostesses greeted them with warm cheers. Welcome, Lady Lu, to our gathering. Welcome, Miss Xiaoya, to our gathering. Lu Sisi and Xiaoya were taken aback. Soon after, they presented their gifts. Xiaoya wished Yanggu, congratulations on your new home, wishing you great fortune. She presented 2 pairs of lucky bamboo. Lu Sisi wished Qin Yang, best wishes for your new home. May all your wishes come true. She gifted 2 Patek Philippe watches, totaling 1.2 million. Qin Yang looked at Lu Sisi. Sisi, how can I accept such an expensive gift? Lu Sisi smiled gently. You saved my life and are going to risk danger to protect me in Cayenne City soon. What is this little wealth? Besides, aren't we good friends? I've always wanted to give you a gift, but I was afraid you wouldn't accept it. Today is a perfect opportunity. You wouldn't refuse, would you? Qin Yang laughed. Of course, I gladly accept such valuable watches. The group chatted and laughed as they walked into the hall. Uncle Aunt hello? Lu Sisi quickly greeted Qin Zhongshi and Yang Aihua. At that moment, beside the elderly couple, there were only Lu Changhe and Su Wenqing, with the rest being stunning women. Han Feishue, Feng Danqing, Ding Xiang, and Lu Sisi, all surrounding Yang Aihua, chattering enthusiastically, making her feel quite appreciated. Wow, so many wonderful girls. Who should I choose as my daughter-in-law? She was already dazzled by the options, smiling from ear to ear. Xiaoyu sat aside, watching coldly, increasingly puzzled. It seemed that it was not Qin Yang who was living off a rich woman, but rather these beautiful women who were all around him. How strange. What was going on? Was it reasonable? Lu Changhe glanced at his girlfriend, Xiaoyu, then at the room full of beauties, feeling particularly sour. Although Xiaoyu was decent-looking, her temperament was not great. She was strong-willed and always pressured him. Working at the factory, she earned 3,000 to 5,000 a month, being stingy and snobbish. Then he looked at the beauties around Qin Yang. Han Feishue, Feng Danqing, Ding Xiang, all were beautiful CEOs, wealthy heiresses. Lu Sisi, a top-tier superstar with millions of fans. Beautiful and talented, was the dream lover of many. Each of these beauties showed great care for Qin Yang. Just looking at the gifts made one envious. Spending $1 million, would you be willing to do that? Why is there such a big difference between people? How many good deeds had Qin Yang done in his past life? Or had he saved the world? Why did all the good things happen to him? However, while he felt envy, Lu Changhe was not jealous. He had always been magnanimous and sincerely felt happy for Qin Yang. If an old classmate became successful, a word from him could also bring benefits. It wouldn't be long before a project manager position would surely come his way. Suddenly, Yang Aihua looked at Lu Changhe. Longhe, how are you and Xiaoyu's wedding plans coming along? We're all waiting to celebrate with you. Yang Aihua asked. Lu Longhe's expression changed, glancing at Xiaoyu with an awkward look. We can't get married yet, Lu Longhe said darkly. Xiaoyu also looked down, not saying anything. There was a hint of discord between them. Yang Aihua noticed something was off. What's going on? Is there a problem? She asked. Lu Longhe shook his head, unwilling to elaborate. Xiaoyu moved her lips, but eventually couldn't hold back. Auntie, can you help us out? Now, who doesn't want a house and a car for a wedding? My mom said we can forego the car, but we need a house for sure. Isn't that reasonable? As for the betrothal gift, just a token amount, 68,000. That's not too much, right? But Lu Longhe's family. Yang Aihua looked at Lu Longhe, puzzled. Longhe, to be fair, Xiaoyu's family's requests aren't excessive. What's the issue? Lu Longhe forced a smile. Auntie, it's not that we don't want to give, we just don't have the money. A few years ago, we spent a lot on renovating our old house. These past 2 years, we've just managed to pay off our debts, and now we have to prepare for the wedding. Everything else is fine, they understand. And the betrothal gift is manageable. But houses are so expensive. The one we like requires a down payment of 400,000. How can I afford that? Without a house, we can't get married. Yang Aihua frowned. For us rural folks, buying a house is really tough. If it weren't for Yangzi's efforts, we probably could never afford one in our lifetime. Sigh, Longhe, this is a big deal. You can't be confused. Don't let money cause misunderstandings. Lu Longhe looked at Xiaoyu, feeling guilty. Xiaoyu, I'm sorry. I've put you in a difficult spot. Tears rolled down Xiaoyu's cheeks. Longhe, the young couple held hands tightly, unwilling to part. Ahem. Qin Yang suddenly coughed, wanting to make his presence known. Longhe, why didn't you tell me about this big issue? Lu Longhe stammered. Qin Yang continued. Come on, how much more do you need for the down payment? Lu Longhe's face turned red, still unable to speak. Still need. Xiaoyu, anxious, pinched his waist, and answered quickly. Yanggu, we still need 200,000. Qin Yang smiled. All right, you need 200,000. I'll give you 300,000. You must make sure this wedding goes smoothly and splendidly. Xiaoyu jumped up, excited. What? 300,000? Lu Longhe was also stunned. Why give 100,000 more? Without saying another word, Chen Yang immediately transferred the money. Ding! Lu Longha's phone chimed. He opened it and exclaimed, wow, I really received 300,000. Xiao Yu leaned closer, stretching her neck to look at the bank message. Seeing all those zeros, she finally believed everything was real. Excitement, gratitude, and guilt all surged within Chen Yang. He was so good to them. Just a moment ago, she had been thinking in her heart that he was living off a rich woman. How wrong that was. Yang Ge was capable, responsible, wealthy, and handsome. He treated his friends really well. No wonder so many beautiful women were eager to come over. After dealing with the matter concerning Lu Changhe, Chen Yang turned to Su Wenqing. Wenqing, we can't delay your aunt's illness any longer. We should send her for hospitalization. How much will it cost? Just tell me the amount. Su Wenqing stammered. This isn't appropriate, is it? Chen Yang, growing impatient, said, Wenqing, don't stand on ceremony with me, just say it. After thinking for a moment, Su Wenqing replied, around 100,000 should be enough? Chen Yang decisively said, I'll give you 200,000. Hire a careful and attentive caregiver to take good care of both your aunt and uncle. If you need more for surgery, just let me know. Su Wenqing was so excited that she couldn't say a word. She silently made up her mind that the only way to repay Chen Yang's kindness was to do the job he arranged for her diligently. Calculating the total assets, there was originally 1 million. After transferring 300,000 to Lu Changhe and 200,000 to Su Wenqing, there was still 6 million left. Everyone was chatting in the hall on the first floor when the housekeeper, Bao Qingqing, suddenly walked in and whispered to Chen Yang that someone was looking for him outside. Chen Yang walked to the entrance and saw Zhang Dajiang and his group. Mr. Zhang, what can I do for you? Zhang Dajiang laughed heartily. Congratulations, my brother. Today is a housewarming. Wishing you great fortune. Chen Yang cursed inwardly, thinking how unfortunate it was. If it weren't for you, it would definitely be a great fortune. All talk and no action. What a miser. You're too polite, Mr. Zhang. Chen Yang casually responded and stopped talking. Seeing the atmosphere turn cold, Zhang Dajiang directly stated his intention. Brother, I noticed there's a dock at your entrance. I think it's great. How about selling it to me? Without hesitation, Chen Yang shook his head. Sorry, I'm not selling. Zhang Dajiang's expression darkened. After thinking for a moment, he reluctantly added, if you really can't bear to part with it, how about renting it to me? The price is negotiable. Chen Yang still shook his head. Not for sale, and not for rent. I'm keeping that dock for myself. Zhang Dajiang could no longer maintain his composure. Anger flared in his eyes as he spoke in a chilling tone. Think carefully before you answer. If you offend our Zhang family consortium, can you bear the consequences? Chen Yang was also furious. What nonsense is this? You dare to threaten me? Jingjit, show him out. He turned and walked away. Behind him, Zhang Dajiang glared at Chen Yang's back, a cold glint flashing in his eyes. Daring to disregard me. Kid, just wait and see. You'll regret this. Not only will you not be able to hold your banquet, but you won't even be able to stay in this villa. Upon returning to the villa, Chen Yang was immediately greeted by a lively welcome. Welcome, Director Wang. It's great to have you as our guest. Chen Yang greeted him with a smile. Huaiji, you're so busy with work. How did you find the time to come? He was just going through the list of possible guests. To his surprise, Wang Huaiji actually showed up. Wang Huaiji extended both hands and shook Chen Yang's hand. Yang Ge, congratulations. He brought a gift of a red envelope containing 10,000 yuan, which was a small expense. Many people were curious. Chen Yang's friends were not from the officialdom. Now, how did a director show up? It sounded like someone important. After Chen Yang's introduction, everyone was even more shocked. This young man was actually the mayor's secretary. This was no ordinary person. They all became respectful immediately. Even Chen Yang's parents, Chen Zhongshi and Yang Aihua, appeared very reserved. After all, they had been farmers for generations and had never encountered someone of high rank. Upon learning that these two were Chen Yang's parents, Wang Huaiji became very warm and took the initiative to greet them, asking about their well-being and even offering to refill their tea. This left the elderly couple quite flattered. Chen Yang found it amusing. Dad, Mom, don't be nervous. Just be casual. Chen Zhongshi immediately became serious and reprimanded. The person is the mayor's secretary. How can we be disrespectful? What if the mayor finds out? Chen Yang laughed. Dad, it's really fine. If the mayor finds out, he won't blame me. The mayor even asked him to call me Yang Ge. Chen Zhongshi's eyes widened, and his voice suddenly rose, nearly lifting the roof. You brat. What nonsense are you talking? How dare you joke about the mayor? Do you believe I'll break your legs? Chapter 84. Conflict escalates. How will it end? No matter how Chen Yang explained, his father didn't believe that Chen Yang knew the mayor. Brat. Just because you have a little ability doesn't mean you know everything. It's really infuriating. The old man was shaking with anger. Yang Aihua hurried over to calm him down. Old man, why are you getting so worked up? Just because you have no ability doesn't mean Yangzi doesn't have any. So what if he knows the mayor? Can't our Yangzi achieve something? Chen Zhongshu held his neck high and angrily said, impossible. If he knows the mayor, I'll take his surname. Seeing this situation, Chen Yang quickly dodged outside the hall. Just then, welcoming voices came from the entrance. Welcome Mr. Li Heihu, our guest. Welcome Miss Wang Xiaoya, our guest. Chen Yang was overjoyed. Tiger brother. I'm really glad you could come. However, Heihu's expression was very calm. Don't get too happy too soon. Let me be clear, I don't have much money, so don't expect me to bring a large gift. Chen Yang laughed. Am I that kind of person? It doesn't matter if the gift is big or small. What matters is that you came. Just be casual. As they spoke, Heihu and Wang Xiaoya arrived at the registration desk. The sweet voice of the hostess rang out again. Wang Xiaoya congratulated Chen Yang. Congratulations on your new home. May it be filled with splendor. She presented a gift of 1,000 yuan. Li Heihu wished Chen Yang. Congratulations on your new residence. May you have peace and joy. A sincere gift, a pair of peace trees and a pair of happiness trees. Chen Yang's mouth twitched, unable to suppress his complaints. Brother Hu, your leadership is a bit lacking. When I said casually, I didn't mean recklessly. The gifts brought were even less substantial than what Xiaoya brought. Before Heihu could speak, Wang Xiaoya had already pouted. Who is your sister? Who's older between us? Chen Yang glanced at her outfit and conceded defeat. Of course, Xiaoya, you are older. Wang Xiaoya blushed, not daring to argue further. It was then that Heihu slowly offered an explanation. Brother, for us, no amount of money is more important than life. Peace and happiness are the most precious. At that moment, the butler, Bao Qingqing, came to inform them that the auspicious time had arrived. Chen Yang nodded. Firecrackers were set off, and fireworks were lit. Everyone who came to celebrate the housewarming gathered in the courtyard. In the small square, firecrackers and fireworks were laid out. The staff lit them one by one. The firecrackers went off with loud, crisp sounds, quick and vigorous, signaling everything would go smoothly and prosperously. Then the fireworks were ignited. One after another, brilliant fireworks bloomed in the sky, making thunderous noises. Boom, boom, boom. Everyone cheered, festive and lively. Who allowed you to set off fireworks? Suddenly, a booming voice came from the entrance, cutting through the joyful atmosphere. Chen Yang turned around to see Zhang Dajiang storming in with a large group of followers. Mr. Zhang, what do you mean by this? Zhang Dajiang snorted coldly. Who gave permission for this? Huh, don't you know it pollutes the environment? Chen Yang replied with a cold smile. Mr. Zhang, the ban on fireworks has long been lifted. This is not a restricted area. Why can't we set them off? Zhang Dajiang was furious. You can do as you please, but have you considered others? Ask around. Everyone living here, aside from you, is either a business tycoon or a social luminary. Look at the noise and pollution you're causing with all this racket. Chen Yang argued back. Are you human? And we're not. Don't look down on us. Each of our villas is hundreds of meters apart. How could the noise reach you? Why is it that no one else has a problem, but you do? Don't you set off firecrackers and fireworks during your own celebrations? Zhang Dajiang was seething. In his family and company, he was always the one in charge. Now, he was being thoroughly challenged by this young man. Kid, don't get cocky. Whether others care or not is irrelevant. Here, you can't set off fireworks. Chen Yang glanced at him disdainfully. What is it to you? Want to bite me? He waved his hand to the crowd. Let it continue. Only the officials can start fires, but the common people can't light lamps? What nonsense. The staff continued to ignite the fireworks, while Zhang Dajiang trembled with rage. Take them all out. No one is allowed to act. The followers surged forward, immediately clashing with Chen Yang's people. The atmosphere on site was extremely tense. Just then, an old acquaintance walked in through the gate. It was the original owner of the villa, Boss Zhang. Mr. Zhang, so you're here. I've been looking for you everywhere, Boss Zhang exclaimed. Surprised to see Zhang Dajiang. He then greeted Chen Yang. Little brother, we meet again. Chen Yang was equally surprised. Boss Zhang, are you close with Mr. Zhang? Zhang Dongshan laughed heartily. Not really close, just some business dealings. This time, he happened to be preparing to transfer a lakeside amusement park nearby to Mr. Zhang. Oh, do you two have some conflict? Chen Yang shrugged, offering no explanation. Zhang Dongshan turned to Zhang Dajiang, who was fuming and didn't respond. Zhang Dongshan, being an experienced player in the game, quickly grasped the subtlety of the situation, weighing the pros and cons. He realized that Zhang Dajiang was the leader of the Zhang family consortium, wealthy and powerful, while Chen Yang was just a rising star. In terms of influence, connections, and wealth, Chen Yang couldn't compare to Zhang Dajiang. If he had to choose a side, it had to be Zhang Dajiang. But then, he spotted a familiar figure in the crowd. Wang Huaiji. Isn't he the mayor's secretary? What is he doing here? Could it be that he is a friend of Chen Yang? With just one glance, Zhang Dongshan changed his mind. This matter cannot be biased. I even need to persuade Zhang Dajiang a bit. Brother Chen, please wait a moment. Let me talk to Mr. Zhang. Zhang Dongshan took the initiative to mediate. He quickly walked to Zhang Dajiang's side and pulled him aside. Mr. Zhang, Do you two have a big dispute? Zhang Dajiang shook his head. It's not a big conflict. I just wanted to rent his dock, but he refused and was quite arrogant. I couldn't bear it. So I wanted to teach him a lesson to let him know the consequences of offending me. Zhang Dongshan felt a bit relieved. So it's a small matter after all. Brother Zhang, I advise you to prioritize harmony and not to invite trouble. Zhang Dajiang dismissed it. Oh, invite trouble? Just him? Does he have some sort of background? Zhang Dongshan shook his head. I don't know if he has a background, but he definitely has some support. Zhang Dajiang was puzzled. What support? Zhang Dongshan explained. Didn't you notice that among his guests was the mayor's secretary, Wang Huaiji? Zhang Dajiang shook his head. I really didn't pay attention to that. But just because he came to a celebration doesn't necessarily mean that Qinyang has a connection with the mayor, right? It could just be Wang Huaiji's personal relationship. Zhang Dongshan disagreed. From the beginning, I felt that Qinyang is not simple. Now with Wang Huaiji appearing, I suggest you be cautious and not to trip over your own feet. Zhang Dajiang's expression fluctuated, his inner turmoil evident. Giving up directly was very unsatisfying. Continuing to entangle. Yet worried about making a major mistake. For a moment, they found themselves in a stalemate. Suddenly, a warm welcome sounded at the entrance. Welcome, Mr. Li Jie MS. Su Riyun, and little friend Lele. Your presence is greatly appreciated. As the voice rang out, Qinyang and Wang Huaiji both went to greet them. Chapter 85. A new business opportunity emerges, a billion-dollar project at the lakeside villa. Li Jie drove up with his wife, Su Riyun, and son Lele, arriving a bit late. Big brother and sister-in-law, you finally made it. Qinyang greeted them enthusiastically. Brother Jie, sister-in-law, you're here. Wang Huaiji smiled and waved. Li Jie smiled apologetically at Qinyang. Sorry, we got stuck in traffic on the way. He nodded at Wang Huaiji. Qinyang chuckled. No worries. It's great that you could come. If you were too busy, it would have been fine not to come. We're family, no need to stand on ceremony. Li Jie shook his head. I had to come. You're my second brother. How could I not? Besides, I carry a significant mission on this trip. I brought greetings from my mother and a gift from my father. How could I not come? Qinyang was flattered. I'm just moving into a new house. I didn't want to trouble Aunt Zhang and Uncle Li. Li Jie smiled and shook his head, walking straight to the registration desk. Meanwhile, Lele tugged at Qinyang's pants, looking pitiful. Uncle, can you hold Lele for a moment? Qinyang laughed heartily, squatting down to pick Lele up. All right. Does Lele miss Uncle? Lele nodded vigorously. Yes, Lele thinks about Uncle every day. At that moment, the sweet voice of the hostess echoed through the venue. Mr. and Mrs. Li Jie wished Qinyang. Congratulations on your new home. May it bring you good fortune. A gift of cash, 10,000 yuan. Mr. and Mrs. Li Junjiang wished Qinyang. Congratulations on your new residence. A gift of a painting with the inscription, auspicious day, moving into a new home, a blessed place, abundant wealth. Soaring high, straight to the clouds. Written by Li Junjiang on a certain date, gifted to my little nephew Qinyang. Upon hearing this, most people had no reaction. However, Zhang Dongshan and Zhang Dajiang shuddered. Who exactly is Qinyang? Not only did the mayor's secretary Wang Huaiji come, but now even the mayor's son, Li Jie, has arrived with his wife and child. The mayor, Li Junjiang, even inscribed a piece for Qinyang, with a particularly special signature. Little nephew Qinyang? What kind of relationship is this? They are like family. Zhang Dajiang exchanged a glance with Zhang Dongshan, both showing similar shock. Without needing Zhang Dongshan to advise, Zhang Dajiang immediately forced a smile and cheerfully ran toward Qinyang, extending his hands from a distance. Brother Qin, I'm really sorry. I was too abrupt just now. I shouldn't have caused a fuss over a small matter and disturbed your celebration. To express my apologies, I'll give you a big red envelope shortly to congratulate you on your new home. Seeing that Qinyang had no intention of shaking hands, he awkwardly withdrew his hand, but his smile remained undiminished. It's all my fault for not recognizing your stature. I hope you can forgive me. Qinyang coldly stared at Zhang Dajiang, showing no signs of forgiveness. Just then, Zhang Dongshan ran over, smiling and trying to mediate. Brother, Mr. Zhang has already realized his mistake and won't repeat it. Please forgive him this once. After glancing at Zhang Dongshan, Qinyang pondered for a moment and slightly nodded. His tone still cold. Considering your reputation, I'll let it go this time, but it won't happen again. Zhang Dajiang wiped the sweat from his brow and bowed repeatedly. I will remember. He left, looking downcast. Moments later, someone delivered a briefcase. The attendant announced loudly, Zhang Dajiang wishes Qinyang a happy new relocation and smooth sailing. A gift of 500,000. Qinyang nodded secretly, thinking the old man had some sense. After tallying his total assets, the recently lost 500,000 was instantly compensated. The current total amount, excluding the cents, reached 69. 1 million. Ding. Gained 10 points. Current total, 660 points. Keep it up. After resolving the trouble, the points were credited in real time. At this moment, Everyone on site seemed to awaken from a dream. How did the previously arrogant Zhang Dajiang suddenly become so obedient? It seemed the change occurred upon seeing Li Jie and his family. So who exactly was Li Jie? Chen Yang welcomed Li Jie's family into the lobby, introducing them to Chen Zhongsher and Yang Aihua. Mom and Dad, this is my sworn brother, Li Jie. This is my sister-in-law Su Riyun and my little nephew Lei. The elders were somewhat surprised. When did their son become sworn brothers with someone? However, they still maintained warm smiles on their faces. Welcome, please take a seat. Unexpectedly, Chen Yang continued, my brother is the son of the mayor, and we have a great relationship. He then clarified to his father, Dad, I told you before that I really know the mayor. Do you believe me now? Clatter. The teacup in Chen Zhongsher's hand suddenly fell onto the table. His eyes wide open. The mayor's son? His expression instantly became very unnatural, unsure whether to stand up or sit down. Yang Aihua was also stunned, unable to believe it. The hall fell silent, everyone appearing cautious, seemingly afraid to disturb this noble guest. In the eyes of ordinary people, this was undoubtedly an unreachable big shot. Li Jie, experienced as he was, immediately smiled and bowed to the elders. Hello, uncle and aunt. I'm Chen Yang's sworn brother. My parents really like Yangzi, so I'm your nephew. Please don't stand on ceremony. After Li Jie's efforts, the atmosphere gradually became a bit more natural. Yang Aihua quietly nudged her husband. Old man, don't you have anything to say? Shouldn't you take your son's surname? Chen Zhongsher smiled with pride. Isn't my surname given by me? He chuckled, unexpectedly pleased that his son had indeed made a name for himself by knowing the mayor. At this moment, Zheng Dongshan also stopped looking for Zhang Dajiang to discuss business. Staying at Chen Yang's house without leaving, he took out 100,000 as a gift to enjoy a banquet. Chen Yang's total assets reached 69.2 million. He invited Zheng Dongshan to the hall and accompanied him for tea. Boss Zheng, haven't you gone to that country yet? Is it that your business here isn't finished? Zheng Dongshan sighed. I've expanded too much. After these days of effort, most of the businesses have been dealt with. Only a few fixed assets remain, which take a bit longer to handle. I came today to discuss the transfer of the Binhu amusement park with Zhang Dajiang. Ding. Trigger today's information. Information 4. Zheng Dongshan has a 5-star hotel, Moonbay Hotel, which is up for sale. This is a premium asset, and if acquired, it would definitely yield great profits. Chen Yang felt a surge of joy and quietly opened the information. The Moonbay Hotel is located next to the Moonbay Wetland Park, perfectly situated between the administrative center and the business center. It has a great location, high foot traffic, and convenient transportation. The hotel is very successful in its operations, with an excellent management team, generating substantial daily revenue. Many investors have shown interest but have not been able to secure it. Zheng Dongshan has been reluctant to let go of such a high-quality resource. Boss Zheng, I heard you have another large hotel. Zheng Dongshan looked at Chen Yang with curiosity. Oh, Brother Chen, are you interested? Chen Yang nodded. If you are willing to part with it, I would like to invest in the acquisition. Zheng Dongshan pondered for a moment. To be honest, this hotel is valued at 1 billion in the market. Brother Chen, do you have that much money? Chen Yang was stunned. 1 billion? Wow, that's shocking. He originally thought a hotel would be around 200 to 300 million, and even for a high-end one, it would be at most 300 to 500 million. But 1 billion was indeed beyond his expectations and far beyond his financial capability. Zheng Dongshan smiled and explained, to be honest, my hotel is very profitable. Even when someone offered 1 billion, I was hesitant. There are 3 reasons. First, the hotel operates well and is a treasure trove. Second, their 1 billion offer is in installments, only 50 million a month. Third, the buyer has some grievances with me, and I don't want to sell such a high-quality hotel to them cheaply. Chen Yang's spirit lifted. So, there is still hope for me? Zheng Dongshan laughed. Brother Chen, we've known each other for a while now. I genuinely enjoy working with you and believe in your future. If you can pay in full at once, I can offer you a special discount. How about 20 off? Or 50? Chen Yang's eyes lit up. 50? 500 million? Zheng Dongshan nodded. As long as you can pay in full at once, I can give you that price. To be honest, Zheng Dongshan was willing to make such a significant concession not only because of Chen Yang's strong background, but also due to the bottleneck he was facing with his business in that country. A large amount of funding injection is urgently needed to take things to the next level. The business over there requires a substantial investment, but offers high returns. Every day of delay leads to immeasurable losses. Chen Yang is both excited and helpless. To suddenly save 500 million is a huge opportunity. Unfortunately, he only has a few tens of millions on hand, far from the 500 million needed. Brother Zheng, you are so sincere, so I won't hide it from you. I currently don't have 500 million. However, I am confident that I can earn 500 million within the next month. Zheng Dongshan hesitated. The reason he was so straightforward and was willing to make a big sale was to achieve speed. Waiting another month could lead to too many uncertainties. Meanwhile, Han Feishue and Ding Xiang looked at Chen Yang, indicating that they could temporarily lend him some funds to help out. Feng Danqing capital isn't that strong either. But they expressed that lending 2 million wouldn't be a problem. Qinyang shook his head. He certainly wanted to get rich. But he absolutely wouldn't take advantage of women. Brother Zheng, how about we make an agreement? What do you think? Zheng Dongshan remained non-committal. Go ahead. Qinyang excitedly said, I am confident that within a maximum of 15 days, I can raise 500 million. If I succeed, you must sell it to me. If I don't gather 500 million after 15 days, I am willing to pay you 15 million as a penalty. What do you think? Zheng Dongshan looked at Qinyang with confusion. Do you really have that kind of confidence? Qinyang nodded seriously. Absolutely. Otherwise, how could I dare to put up 15 million as a bet? After a long moment of contemplation, Zheng Dongshan slapped his thigh and exclaimed, all right. Just because of your character, I'm in. 1 million a day, waiting another 15 days isn't too much of a loss. Remember, I will only reserve the Moon Bay Grand Hotel for you for a maximum of 15 days. After that, the two signed the agreement on the spot. Qinyang was both surprised and delighted. His trip to Kaiyun City now had an additional mission, using his unique ability to earn 500 million. Otherwise, he would face a loss of 15 million. Beep. Gained 10 points. Current total, 670 points. Keep it up. Today's intelligence usage is complete. Increased by 10 points. Every effort brings rewards. I am a happy worker. After settling the hotel matter, Qinyang recalled the mention of a mysterious expert in the intelligence and couldn't he help but ask Zheng Dongshan. Brother Zheng, is the nearby water amusement park your property? Could you help arrange for a small cruise ship to come over? I want to take everyone for a ride on the famous lake today since I'm in a good mood. Zheng Dongshan smiled and agreed. This is simple. I'll make a call, and it can be arranged immediately. Upon hearing that they could enjoy a boat ride on the lake, everyone became excited and started clamoring to go play. Before long, a small cruise ship indeed docked at the pier. Zheng Dongshan led the way. Qinyang greeted everyone, encouraging them to have some fun. Boarding the yacht felt quite different. From a distance, the yacht seemed small, but once on board, it was clear that it was quite spacious, comfortably accommodating dozens of people. The weather was sunny, with a blue sky and clear waters and a gentle breeze. The lake's surface sparkled in the sunlight, and everyone was joyful, filled with laughter and chatter. Qinyang glanced at Zheng Dongshan beside him and couldn't help but persuade him. Brother Zheng, our country is thriving now, with our national strength on the rise. If you stay here, you will definitely have great opportunities. Why do you insist on developing abroad? Zheng Dongshan sighed. I've mentioned my family reasons before. Additionally, the investments I have in a certain country are substantial, with considerable profits. It's simply something I cannot let go of. Given this, Qinyang felt there was little more to say. I won't push you further. But I just want to remind you to always keep a backup plan to avoid being taken advantage of. Zheng Dongshan frowned, seeming to ponder, but said nothing more. Qinyang decided not to press the issue. As friends, sometimes it's best to know when to stop. As they approached the island in the lake, Qinyang suddenly wanted to disembark alone. Everyone expressed their objections. The island was undeveloped, overgrown with weeds, and the terrain was complex. There could be poisonous insects or pitfalls. If he were to get bitten or fall into a trap, it would be too dangerous. However, Qinyang was resolute, and there was no way for the others to change his mind. Yang, just go and come back quickly. We'll wait for you here, Bai Yuyan said, looking worried. Qinyang smiled and waved, saying, you don't need to wait here. Go explore nearby, and come back to pick me up in an hour. He disembarked from the yacht, and quickly headed toward the island. The yacht was anchored near the island, making it prone to grounding or hitting rocks. Zheng Dongshan planned to take a quick trip around the area, but the women were reluctant, worried that Qinyang might encounter danger and be unable to leave the island. In the end, Zheng Dongshan, being experienced, decided to leave a single-person inflatable raft specifically for emergencies. Only then did the women agree to leave. Though they departed with heavy hearts, Qinyang ventured deeper into the island. The island wasn't large, but the vegetation was dense, with many tall trees blocking the sunlight. Walking along the shaded paths, it was quite dim. There were thickets of thorns obstructing his way. Qinyang found a long stick and continued to push aside the thorns. Exploring step by step, upon reaching a pond, he suddenly spotted a figure sitting motionless on a large rock. With keen eyesight, he discerned that it was a frail old man with disheveled hair and tattered clothing, resembling more of a scavenger than a wise hermit. Old man, are you all right? Qinyang called softly as he approached. The old man remained still, and a cool breeze swept past. Qinyang's body was suddenly filled with goosebumps. Oh no, could he be dead? Chapter 87. Star Plucking Hand, Sky Walking Steps. On a deserted island, in a dark and dense forest, a frail old man sat motionless on a large rock. Qinyang couldn't help but let his imagination run wild. The environment here was hardly suitable for survival. The old man must have accidentally fallen into the water, struggled to swim ashore, and ended up starving to death, turning into a dried corpse. The more Qinyang thought about it, the more frightened he became, preparing to retreat. Suddenly, he witnessed a shocking scene. The frail old man's body was not sitting on the rock at all. Upon closer inspection, he was actually 3 centimeters off the ground, sitting in midair. Oh my god. Qinyang was so scared that his legs went weak, and he fell to the ground. This wasn't a dead person, but a ghost? How could a living person float in the air? It defied the law of gravity. It could only be a ghost. Weightless, floating in the air. Qinyang's face turned pale, his palms were sweating. His heart raced wildly. He crawled and scrambled out of the water area, running all the way to the shore before feeling slightly relieved. From his personal space, he took out a bottle of Waha drink, gulped it down to calm his nerves. Damn, that scared the life out of me. After finishing the bottle, Qinyang finally calmed down. Wait, the system information clearly stated it was a person. How could it be a ghost? Moreover, a master. Could this frail old man really be a hermit? Qinyang immediately took out a box of mineral water, a bag of ham sausages, a box of instant noodles, and 3 bags of tearable bread from his personal space. He hurried back to the pond. From a distance, he saw the frail old man still sitting in midair, motionless. Qinyang felt a surge of envy. What kind of technique had this old man cultivated to be able to sit in midair? This lightness skill was simply unparalleled, not a bit inferior to the legendary feats. Quietly, Qinyang approached and placed all the food and water near the old man. At this moment, he was less than 3 meters away. Seeing very clearly that there was indeed no support underneath the old man, he was just sitting in midair. Qinyang wanted to speak, to remind him and perhaps even gain his favor. If he could move the old man and become his disciple, that would be even better. At the very least, he wanted to learn this magical lightness skill. In the future, he could venture anywhere in the world. Unfortunately, the frail old man remained completely motionless, not even raising his eyelids. Qinyang felt disappointed and sighed softly, turning to leave. Of course, he walked lightly, making no noise to wake the old man. Just as he had walked about 20 meters away, the old man's eyes suddenly opened, a flash of light passing through. Come back. A deep, weathered voice echoed behind him. Qinyang was startled and turned around to see the old man had awakened and was looking at him. You're awake? Qinyang ran back in surprise. The expression of the thin old man was very serious as he scrutinized Qinyang. Who are you? Why did you come to the island? Did you come specifically to find me? Qinyang answered immediately, without hesitation. Senior, my name is Qinyang, an ordinary person. I just moved to the lakeside villa today. Last night, I suddenly had a dream that indicated I would meet a fateful person on the island today. I didn't believe it at first, but I came up here to give it a try. I didn't expect to actually meet you. The thin old man stared at him intently. Qinyang felt that if he had any ulterior motives or malice, he would definitely be struck down by the old man. Fortunately, the mention of the dream, although a bit far-fetched, was not entirely off. With no ill intentions, he barely passed the scrutiny. The old man pointed to the food and water on the ground. You were scared to death just now, so why did you come back? And brought these things? Qinyang rubbed his temples, looking quite unnatural. Just now I thought. The thin old man interrupted coldly. Thought I was dead? Qinyang wiped the sweat off his forehead, not daring to respond. The old man waved his hand. Continue. Qinyang felt a bit relieved. After thinking it over, he realized that the idea of ghosts and gods was not to be trusted. It was very possible that he was indeed the fateful person. I was worried about you being alone on this deserted island with no food or drink, so I brought some over. The thin old man nodded. Since you believe I am the fateful person, why didn't you wake me? You might gain some benefit. Qinyang smiled awkwardly. At first, I did think about it. However, you didn't wake up, so I gave up. Since you are an expert, every word and action of mine must be under your control. Everything is left to fate. You didn't speak, which must have its reasons, and I should naturally obey. Then, Qinyang added, what if you were in the middle of a crucial moment in your practice and I disturbed you? Wouldn't that be harmful to you? That's why I chose to leave quietly. A strange smile finally appeared on the thin old man's face as he waved Qinyang over. Qinyang's heart raced again. This old man was unpredictable and had profound abilities. If he acted against him, it would be hard to escape. His life could end here without a clear reason. Nevertheless, he still resolutely walked towards the old man. The thin old man reached out and grabbed Qinyang's arm, then used both hands to feel all over Qinyang's body, his hands, legs, and waist. Good. Very good. You have extraordinary bones. Indeed, a rare talent for martial arts. Qinyang shivered. Senior, you're not going to send me off to save the world, are you? The thin old man shook his head. I'm not that boring. However, if it were my senior brother, that would be a different story. Qinyang asked again. So are you planning to sell me a book? A martial arts manual? The thin old man shook his head once more. I don't have any martial arts secrets, and I certainly won't sell them to you. Qinyang still didn't believe it. So, are you planning to take me as your disciple? I can offer you a substantial apprenticeship gift? The old man's face darkened. What nonsense is this? Would I, an old man, take on a disciple just for money? Qinyang finally relaxed. With a thud, he knelt on both knees and bowed his head. Disciple Qinyang pays respect to master. The old man was bewildered. Kid, what are you doing? When did I say I would take you as a disciple? Qinyang was stunned. Master, don't you want me as your disciple anymore? You just said I have extraordinary talent for martial arts? The old man looked at Qinyang. Indeed, you are a rare talent for martial arts in 100 years. However, my techniques are not suitable for you. Qinyang felt like he had stepped into thin air. His heart raced as if it were about to explode. It was like a roller coaster ride, going up and down. Old man, what do you mean? Are you playing with me? After all this, I'm just left feeling happy for nothing? The old man smiled playfully. Are you disappointed? Qinyang nodded. The old man then said something shocking. I cannot be your master. However, I do have 2 secret techniques I can pass on to you. Really? Qinyang was overjoyed. His fingers trembled with excitement. Senior, please tell me. What are the 2 techniques? The old man looked up at the sky, speaking mysteriously. Star snatching hand, sky treading step. Chapter 88. Can I level up using points without practicing? Star snatching hand, sky treading step? Qinyang felt a sense of longing, just hearing the names. He knew these 2 martial arts were definitely top-notch. Suddenly, the old man reached out his hand. Qinyang felt like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. With no power to resist, instantly falling under his control. Whoosh! A cannonball shot into the sky. Looking up, he saw himself soaring 40 meters high. Ah! Qinyang screamed as if he had lost his soul, calling out in panic. As he neared the peak of his ascent, his body was about to fall, and his fear intensified. His heart seemed to fly away with his soul. At such a height, a free fall would surely turn him into a pile of mush upon hitting the ground. At the very least, he would be left disabled for life. Help! Help! At the highest point, the old man lightly leaped, soaring like a bird. In an instant, he jumped over 50 meters and caught Qinyang's body. In the next moment, the old man lifted Qinyang, stepping on the tips of trees, soaring and leaping through the dense forest as if walking on flat ground. After covering 200 meters, the old man turned back with Qinyang. Whoosh! He leaped down from the treetops, landing steadily on the original large rock without breaking a sweat. Kid, how do you feel? Qinyang felt dizzy, still trying to catch his breath. That was too dangerous, too thrilling. The old man wore a wicked smile. I can walk on water too. Do you want to give it a try? Qinyang was startled and quickly waved his hand. No need. Really no need. He looked visibly anxious. The frail old man chuckled. So what do you think? Do you want to learn? Qinyang's spirit was lifted. Is this the heavenly step? The old man nodded. The heavenly step has 4 levels of mastery. Once you master it, you'll be able to do things like walking on grass, floating on water, and leaving no trace in the snow. Also, the technique I used to subdue you just now is a simple application of the star-plucking hand. Seizing the dragon and binding the tiger. The star-plucking hand is my signature skill, belonging to the highest level of martial arts. There are 3 directions of achievement, each with 3 levels of mastery. If you can practice this skill to a high level, you will definitely be able to roam the martial world with ease. The more Qinyang listened, the more excited he became, nodding vigorously like a chick pecking at rice. I want to learn, I really want to. The frail old man smiled and nodded. Close your eyes, focus your mind, and slowly feel it. As Qinyang closed his eyes, the old man's palm rested on the top of his head, directly using a technique to impart the essence of the heavenly step and the star-plucking hand to him through thought. Half an hour later, the old man withdrew his hand. When Qinyang opened his eyes, he noticed that the old man looked significantly weaker, clearly having expended a lot of energy. Senior, are you all right? The frail old man waved his hand. It's fine, I'll just take some time to recover. You can go now, don't disturb my meditation. Qinyang felt reluctant. Senior, I will always remember your kindness in passing on your skills. May I ask your name? The old man hesitated for a moment before replying. Star-plucking elder. Qinyang silently committed this to memory, promising that he would not forget the old man's kindness once he achieved success. He bowed and left. When he returned to the shore, the yacht had been waiting for a long time. Qinyang immediately boarded the boat. Ding! Gained 10 points. Current total, 680 points. Keep it up. Having received the imparting of knowledge from the master, the system immediately rewarded him with points. Qinyang felt particularly excited, but had to suppress it in front of everyone. Brother Yang, was there any danger on the island? Bai Yuyan asked with concern. Han Feishue, Feng Danqing, Ding Xiang, and Lu Cixi also focused their attention on him. Qinyang smiled and pretended to be relaxed. Nothing much, just a deserted island, not interesting at all. Zheng Dongshan inquired. Are we heading back now? Qinyang nodded. Yes, let's head back. It's time to eat, everyone must be hungry. The lunch took place at a large hotel, and the dishes were lavish. Order whatever you like, anything expensive, just get it. Whatever is nourishing, eat it. Matai, Woyangya, drink whatever you want. Huazi, the best quality. Smoke whatever you like. They indulged in a feast, with everyone enjoying themselves. After the meal, they found a nearby upscale tea house to relax and drink tea. Those who liked playing mahjong or cards could have a little game. Heihu was the first to leave, as he had official business. Brother, the target I've been watching has already bought a plane ticket and is definitely going to the city of colorful clouds. I might set off tonight. When are you leaving? Xinyang replied, it should be tomorrow. Black Tiger reminded him, this operation is likely to be dangerous. So make sure to pick up your firearms and ammunition before you leave. Xinyang nodded in agreement. Li Jie, Zheng Dongshan, and others also left one after another. Before leaving, Ding Xiang told Xinyang with concern, I just received a call. The appraiser chosen by my family suddenly changed and can't accompany me to the city of colorful clouds. I can only temporarily select a senior appraiser from my family to go with me. I'm worried that this time, I might be overshadowed by Ding Qiufeng. Xinyang understood that the Stone Gambling Conference was the first battle for the heir of the Ding family, concerning the ownership of a 10 stake. It absolutely couldn't afford to fail. Don't worry too much. With me around, you'll definitely achieve victory, Xinyang reassured her. Ding Xiang felt somewhat comforted, but her furrowed brows remained tightly knit. After all, the appraiser invited by Ding Qiufeng was a master renowned in the stone gambling world. Meanwhile, Xinyang had never played stone gambling before. How could he compare? Once all the guests had left, Xinyang and Lu Sisi sent their parents back to the city hospital before returning to Lu Sisi's villa. Ding Xiang and Lu Sisi had already arranged for their tickets for tomorrow, all booked by Xiaoyu. That night, Xinyang hid in the guest room, carefully studying the two newly learned unique skills. The star plucking technique has 3 practical directions. The first direction is empty hands, which essentially means quick hands. The higher the realm, the faster the hand speed. Wow, just hearing the name, one can tell this is a master thief skill. Could the star plucker be? TSK. Can't say. The second direction is heart destruction, focusing on destructive power and lethality. When cultivated to a profound level, it can kill gods and demons alike. The third direction is plucking stars and grabbing the moon. This is the most unpredictable technique. Even at the first realm, the ability to subdue dragons and bind tigers is already considered a supreme martial art. It represents the highest achievement in grappling techniques. As for higher realms, those are mere myths and legends, hard to articulate. Xinyang was very excited. This star plucking technique is indeed a comprehensive martial art. It includes the auxiliary skill of empty hands, the grappling aspect of plucking stars and grabbing the moon, and the combat killing technique of heart destruction. Having mastered this unique skill would provide an additional life-saving card when going out to handle matters. In comparison, fighting techniques are just ordinary combat skills, generic and widely used throughout the world, and cannot be compared to the secretive star plucking technique at all. What Xinyang was most concerned about now was whether he could upgrade the combat skills he learned through the system points. If he could cultivate all 3 directions of the star plucking technique to the first realm, his strength would surely increase significantly, giving him more confidence for the next execution of tasks. However, all along, the skills acquired through the system upgrade are obtained through system lottery and belong to one's own. The skill star plucking hand is something learned in reality. Whether the system recognizes it or can upgrade it is still uncertain. Xinyang was very excited, pacing back and forth in the room. Why not try it now? Chapter 89, Strength Surge. Astonishing leak. Xinyang was thrilled. If the experiment succeeded, the implications would be profound. If it failed, all martial arts in reality would require arduous day and night training, not to mention the time and effort involved. There would still be a big question mark over whether one could successfully advance and how long it would take. Checking the current level of star plucking hand. Beep. Detected that the host has learned a new combat skill, star plucking hand. Current level, not yet initiated. Xinyang felt a sense of relief. It was certain that he had not yet initiated it. He had only learned the incantations and methods for star plucking hand and heavenly step. He hadn't officially begun the training yet. The key point was that being able to detect this new skill was good news. If the system could not detect it, then upgrading would be impossible. Since it was detected, there might be hope. Could star plucking hand be upgraded? Xinyang cautiously inquired. At that moment, he was very tense, rubbing his hands nervously, waiting for the system's response. Beep. Upgrade available. Xinyang was overjoyed. Yay. He swung his arms fiercely and jumped up in excitement. The ability to upgrade using points was immensely significant for him. From now on, all skills learned in reality could be forcibly upgraded using points, enhancing proficiency and combat power while completely disregarding perception and talent. How much of an advantage would that be? It was like having a cheat code, crushing everything in his path. Beep. Upgrade conditions are as follows. Current points available, 690 points. Based on the conditions provided by the system, he chose to upgrade star plucking hand to level 4, perfect state, master level, reaching the second realm, shadowless and formless. This would consume 100 points, leaving him with 590 points. In an instant, Xinyang felt a transformative change throughout his body, especially in his hands. Flexibility, agility, and reaction speed all underwent a qualitative leap. He felt his fingers were incredibly nimble, possessing an ethereal sense of lightness. If he were to perform magic tricks, such as palming cards, switching cards, or changing cards, he could absolutely do it without anyone noticing. The formless star-plucking hand, combined with the golden eyes, was akin to being possessed by a gambling god, surely capable of dominating. Unfortunately, Qinyang had no interest in gambling and was wasting his exceptional talent. Beep. Consumed 150 points, upgraded heart snatching to level 2, minor achievement state. Reached the first realm, 1 palm breaks stone. Current points remaining, 440 points. Qinyang felt quite emotional. The upgrade conditions for heart snatching were much rarer than for star plucking hand. After all, with remarkable skill, he leaned towards assistance. With lethal force, he leaned towards combat. Having learned to pierce stone with a single palm, Qinyang couldn't help but want to test its power. He stealthily approached the villa. In the stillness of the night, he aimed at a 10-centimeter thick stone on the artificial hill. Qinyang activated the skill and struck the stone. A faint sound echoed. His palm passed through the stone. Qinyang was stunned. He withdrew his hand and looked. There was no unusual sign. However, on the hard stone, a palm-shaped hollow was left behind. The incredibly hard stone had been penetrated by a mere flesh palm. The stone remained intact, with the handprint clear. This kind of power was simply astonishing. To avoid exposure, Qinyang moved the large stone and quietly slid it into the fish pond before returning to his room. Ding. Consumed 100 points. The skill upgraded to level 1, entry-level state. Reached the first realm, capturing dragons and binding tigers. Current points left, 340 points. The third direction, grasping stars and seizing the moon, had even more terrifying upgrade requirements than the lethal force technique. Just to enter, it required 100 points. To upgrade to a small success, it needed 1,000 points. Qinyang simply didn't have that many. Fortunately, grasping stars and seizing the moon was indeed very advanced. This was also the most core and profound essence of the skill. Even at the beginner stage of capturing dragons and binding tigers, it was already 10 times more advanced than the grappling techniques in combat arts. With a deft movement of his palms, there was a subtle sense of control. Truly the most sophisticated grappling technique. After a series of operations, Qinyang only had 340 points left, feeling quite reluctant. However, thinking of the incredible skill demonstrated by the Elder of Grasping Stars, he felt a strong urge to upgrade the Sky Step. Ding. Consumed 150 points. Sky Step upgraded to level 2, small success state. Reached the first realm, flying on grass. Current points left, 190 points. A wave of tingling spread throughout his body, especially in his legs, as if electric currents flowed through them, making them stronger, lighter, and quicker. Qinyang was excited. Lightness was a coveted ability for every novel enthusiast. He couldn't wait to slip out of the villa. In a nearby park, he found a dense forest and executed the flying on grass. With a push off the ground, he soared like lightning, rising over 10 meters, using the tree trunks to gain more height, and then leaping another 7 or 8 meters to land on the top of a large tree. Then he began to jump from one branch to another, with a maximum distance of up to 30 meters. Although his movements were not graceful, he managed not to fall. Stumbling and flailing, he moved forward in a chaotic manner. The scene resembled a high-level chase in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Qinyang didn't dare to play for too long. After testing the effects, he hurried back to the villa. That night, having learned the Grasping Stars and Sky Step, his strength underwent a tremendous transformation. Check personal information panel. Host name, Qinyang. Host age, 22 years old. Theoretical lifespan, 120 years. System level. Level 2, 3 pieces of information triggered yesterday. 1 piece today. Life skills, Soulful Hands. Level 4 perfection. God level driving. Level 3 mastery. Special skills, Personal space. Level 2, 3 cubic meters. Golden eyes. Level 1. Scanning range, 1 meter. Voice transmission. Level 4. Transmission range, 30 meters. Combat skills, Martial arts. Level 4 master. Empty-handed. Level 4 master. Invisible. Heartbreaker. Level 2 minor success. Can shatter stone with a palm. Star snatching. Level 1 beginner. Can capture dragons and tigers. Sky stepping. Level 2 minor success. Flying over grass. Cultivation secret method, none. Combat power level, intermediate warrior. After taking a strength enhancing pill, strength evaluation, with star snatching and sky stepping, can fight above rank. Possessing intermediate warrior strength. Upon seeing the strength evaluation of an intermediate warrior, Qinyang showed a satisfied smile. Hey who, as the leader of the Special Operations Department of the Military Intelligence Agency, is only at the level of a senior warrior. Even if he hides some methods, his true strength is at most that of a junior warrior. As a consultant for Group 3, Qinyang's strength has already surpassed that of the leader. During the trip to Cayenne City, his confidence in survival has increased. After a dreamless night, the first thing he did upon waking in the morning was to check today's information. Ding! Today's information updated. Information 1. In Cayenne City, At the underground gambling stone market, there is a piece of unclaimed raw material, which is the biggest leak. Its real value has surged by 1,000 times. Chapter 90, Strange Mission, Information 2. Tonight, the entertainment company owner has invited Lu Cece to a gathering. Lu Cece is in danger. Information 3. Young Master Ding and Master Xinyan have already inspected the raw stones, attempting to secure the best batch entirely. Seeing these 3 pieces of information, Xinyan had mixed feelings. The first piece of information indicates that there is a raw stone in the underground gambling market that, if purchased, would increase in value by 1,000 times. This would be the biggest opportunity Xinyan has ever encountered. Instant wealth? Overnight, he could transform from a millionaire into a billionaire. Beautiful women, luxury cars, yachts would no longer be dreams. Perhaps, the agreement signed with Zheng Dongshan regarding the 500 million funds to purchase the Moonbay Hotel could be resolved with this piece of raw stone. If it's not enough, he could just buy a few more. With the golden eyes, how could he not make money? The second piece of information reveals that Lu Cece's company owner, Qin Han, has set a trap, just waiting for Lu Cece to fall into it. He must warn Lu Cece to avoid getting caught. The third piece of information shows that Ding Qiufeng is calculating well, gathering the best appraisers, and taking the initiative. It even includes the appraiser from Dingxiang changing their mind at the last minute. Who can guarantee that Ding Qiufeng isn't causing trouble behind the scenes? He must timely remind Dingxiang to prepare early and respond accordingly. To Chun Yang's surprise, the legendary and notorious gambling stone master, known as the Divine Eye Master, turned out to be an old acquaintance, Kamita Koji, a spy from a small island nation. He had schemed to get close to the Ding family in order to steal antiques from the Dragon Country and smuggle them abroad. Kamita Koji's first step in his plan was to win the gambling stone competition and gain the trust of young Master Ding. The little devil was quite ambitious. Last time he tried to buy 3 pieces to smuggle back home, but this time he aimed even higher, attempting to infiltrate the Ding family. It's important to know that aside from dealing in jade, gold, and jewelry, the Ding family's initial path to wealth was through antiques. They have a long history and deep roots and possess a large number of precious collectibles. If the little devil infiltrates, countless valuable cultural relics would be lost to the small island nation each year, resulting in immeasurable losses. Therefore, participating in the Gambling Stone Conference was not only for the sake of Ding Xiang, but also for the country and national righteousness. It was imperative to prevent Ding Qiufeng from winning. This guy was likely colluding with the little devil and was probably not a good person. The flight ticket for 11:40 a.m. this morning was quite rushed. The first thing to do was to go to the mysterious base to collect firearms and ammunition. Qinyang drove his Wrangler into the Jiangqing rubber factory. It was still the same old guard, still so inconspicuous. Everything seemed ordinary. This was just a regular factory. Upon arriving at the second gate, he showed his special pass to the young security guard, who opened the gate and let him through. The Wrangler successfully entered the base. Qinyang went straight to find Wang Xiaoya. "Beauty, can you do me a favor? I want to go get firearms and ammunition. Can you show me the way?" Seeing Chun Yang's annoying expression, Wang Xiaoya was furious and nearly wanted to bite him. "No way." Chun Yang shamelessly persisted. "Please help me, and I'll treat you to dinner later." Wang Xiaoya shook her head. "I won't eat." Chun Yang smiled. "That won't do. You must eat." Wang Xiaoya pouted. "I can help, but you have to agree to one condition." Chun Yang nodded eagerly. "Sure, as long as you help, any condition is fine. Are you thinking of a big feast?" "No problem." Wang Xiaoya interrupted him. "The condition is, don't invite me to dinner and don't bother me." Chun Yang was taken aback. "Hey, beauty, what do you mean? If you don't want to be treated to dinner, why don't bother me? Have I bothered you?" Wang Xiaoya twisted her waist and walked away, ignoring him. Chun Yang hurried after her. Without someone to guide him, how could he get the firearms? Soon, the two arrived at the equipment room. Chun Yang presented his consultant credentials and gun permit, receiving a handgun, 3 magazines, and 50 rounds of ammunition. Touching the cold, hard surface of the gun, Chun Yang felt very excited. What man doesn't like guns? It seems that women like guns too. Holding the gun, Chun Yang aimed at Wang Xiaoya as if she were an imaginary enemy and pulled the trigger. Bang! Wang Xiaoya suddenly pushed down the gun barrel. Never point a gun at anyone, unless they are the enemy. The more she looked at Chun Yang, the more annoyed she became. What did the team leader see in him? A slightly wealthy, somewhat handsome bad guy. What right did he have to join the Special Operations Department? Just because he found the connection to Chang Xiaotian last time? Wasn't that a bit hasty? Chun Yang looked at Wang Xiaoya. "Sister Xiaoya, I've never fired a gun before. Is there a shooting range here where I can practice?" Wang Xiaoya corrected him. "It's sister. Follow me." She led Chun Yang to an underground shooting range. Bang, bang, bang. Chun Yang chose a 20-meter silhouette target. With 3 shots, he hit the target every time. Faced with Wang Xiaoya's surprised and mocking gaze, Chun Yang rubbed his temples, feeling awkward to the point that his toes could dig a 3-bedroom apartment. "Forget it. I'll save the rest of the bullets for the mission." As he exited the shooting range, Chun Yang suddenly remembered something. Sister Xiaoya, as agents, don't we have any special equipment? Wang Xiaoya frowned and nodded seriously. Yes. Qin Yang was surprised. Then why didn't you take me to get some? Wang Xiaoya shot back. You didn't say you wanted any. They went to the equipment room again. This time, Qin Yang was amazed. He saw a bunch of all sorts of strange items. In the end, he only took a listening device, a tracker, a drone, and some knockout drugs. After leaving the secret base, Qin Yang immediately tossed all the equipment, including the pistol and bullets, into his personal space. He clapped his hands, feeling relaxed and convenient. Occasionally, he could even conjure a gun, playing the role of a pig to eat a tiger. This space was truly a must-have for home and travel. He drove to the city hospital, sent a few messages to bid farewell to Han Feixue and Feng Danqing, and then went to Bai Yuyan's office. While saying goodbye, he asked her to help take care of his parents. Bai Yuyan felt a bit reluctant, but nodded in agreement. Don't worry, Uncle and Auntie. I'll be here for them. When he reached his father's hospital room, he told his parents that he had to go on a business trip to Cayenne City and that they could contact Dr. Bai if needed. His mother, Yang Aihua, felt a bit reluctant but didn't say much. However, his father, Qin Zhongshi, stopped him. Yangzi, the place you're going for your business trip is Cayenne City? Qin Yang nodded. Yes, I should be back in about 3 to 5 days. Qin Zhongshi pondered for a moment, then suddenly became very serious, with tears glistening in his eyes. Yangzi, if you have time on this trip, please help Dad find someone. Qin Yang was quite puzzled. Who should I look for? Chapter 91. An unexpected encounter on the plane in the hospital room. Qin Yang looked confused, not knowing who his father wanted him to find. It seemed important. Qin Zhongshi fell into memories, recounting a story that had been sealed for 20 years. That year, Qin Yang was only 2 years old. Qin Zhongshi took his son to the bus station. There were many people. A long line formed in front of the ticket window. When it was his turn to buy tickets, he suddenly realized that Xiao Qin Yang was gone. Qin Zhongshi panicked and shouted, Yangzi, Yangzi. But there was no response from Qin Yang. Help! My son is missing. Qin Zhongshi cried out, seeking assistance from those around him. Everyone looked around, but shook their heads. They hadn't seen anything. Qin Zhongshi wanted to find the station staff or the police for help, but in his urgency, he couldn't find anyone. Only the young ticket seller at the window looked frightened and was unable to help. Suddenly, a tall and strong man stepped forward and asked about the missing child's appearance. Qin Zhongshi briefly described him. The strong man immediately rushed out of the ticket hall. Half an hour passed, and the station staff and police were still searching, but had found nothing. Qin Zhongshi was so anxious that his eyes turned red. Yangzi, where are you? He was frantic, searching every corner of the station. It was a disaster. If he went home and his wife found out he lost their son, he couldn't imagine what would happen. In his moment of despair, the strong man suddenly returned, escorting a human trafficker who was holding a sleepy Xiao Qin Yang in his arms. Qin Zhongshi was overwhelmed with joy and tears. Thank you. Thank you. I am truly grateful. He kept bowing, tears streaming down his face. The strong man was named Zhuo Wuyang. To express his gratitude, Qin Zhongshi treated Zhuo Wuyang to a meal. During the meal, they found they had much in common and became sworn brothers. However, after parting at the station, they never saw each other again. Qin Zhongshi only knew that Zhuo Wuyang lived in Cayenne City, but he didn't know the exact address. Yangzi, Uncle Zhuo is your lifesaver. If it weren't for him, you wouldn't be here now, and we wouldn't have our family. He is a great benefactor to us. Qin Zhongshi wiped his eyes. He thought about how in the past, he didn't have the means or opportunity to express his gratitude. Now that you've made a lot of money and are going on a business trip to Cayenne City, this is fate. You should try to find him and personally express your thanks. If you can help him in any way, do your best. Do you understand? Qin Yang nodded seriously. He hadn't expected to have such a life-threatening experience when he was young. Uncle Zhuo had indeed saved his life, and he needed to thank him in person. Dad, don't worry, I will do my best to find him. Qin Zhongshi nodded in relief. The emotions he had repressed for 20 years were suddenly released. He felt much more at ease. At 11 a.m., Qin Yang arrived at Jiangqing Airport, where he met up with Lu Sisi, Ding Xiang, and their entourage. Lu Sisi brought Xiao Yu and 3 attendants, while Ding Xiang had 2 assistants with her. There is also a senior appraiser named Uncle Ming. Uncle Ming's family has served the Ding family for 3 generations, making them loyal retainers. His qualifications are deep, and he is very loyal. Unfortunately, in terms of jade identification skills, he is still far behind the master with the divine eye. While waiting to board, Qin Yang found an opportunity to have a private chat with Lu Sisi. Sisi, is your company's boss named Qin Han? Lu Sisi nodded. How did you know? Qin Yang replied, it's not hard to find out. There is a lot of information online. Lu Sisi thought for a moment and agreed. Is there something you want to tell me? Qin Yang seriously warned. If Qin Han invites you to any dinner or gathering today, you must not go. Lu Sisi looked puzzled. Why? Qin Yang countered. Haven't you noticed that your boss is on the same side as the person who has been targeting you? Lu Sisi was taken aback. Really? Qin Yang said, I'm just speculating. Just try not to go. Lu Cece hesitated. But he is my boss if I refuse. It might not be appropriate. Qinyang thought for a moment. As long as you know in your heart, if you really can't resist, just tell me immediately. I will accompany you, it will be fine. Lu Cece nodded. Okay, with you around, I feel more at ease. Ding. Gained 10 points. Current total, 200 points. Keep it up. Qinyang felt very complicated as he gained points again. Upgrading the Star Snatcher and Skywalker significantly boosted his strength. But he also lost several hundred points. It hurt. Keep pushing and earn more points. Qinyang found Ding Xiang again and recounted the scheme of the young master of the Ding family, Ding Qiufeng. He wants to monopolize all the good materials? Ding Xiang frowned. Is that possible? Qinyang pondered. I think it's unlikely. Unless the master with the divine eye really has divine vision and can see through the rough stone. Ding Xiang shook her head. Impossible. Although the master with the divine eye is reputedly skilled, he doesn't actually possess any divine sight. He just has a keen eye that allows him to discern which rough stone has a higher chance of yielding green. For example, if others can guess 5, he can guess 15. That's 3 times the probability. He certainly has the qualifications to be called the master with the divine eye. Qinyang nodded. So, that means we still have hope. Ding Xiang rolled her eyes. You have such big hopes. He has the master-esque skills and has screened the materials. He has all the advantages. And you say we have hope? Qinyang blinked and playfully smiled. He doesn't have divine sight, but I do. Ding Xiang was speechless and didn't want to engage with him. Qinyang then earnestly reassured her, don't worry, even though I don't have divine sight. I have good luck. I will definitely have great fortune and wealth. Ding Xiang was completely speechless and ignored him. Ding, you have earned 10 points. With a total of 210 points accumulated. Keep it up. Regardless of whether the comfort had any effect, the points were successfully credited. The goal has been achieved. There is no need to nitpick the other details. It was time to board the plane. Lu Cece, Ding Xiang, and others boarded one after another. Qinyang found his seat by the aisle, with the window seat beside him temporarily empty. Lu Cece sat in the same row, separated by just an aisle. Lu Cece was deep in thought. The mere thought of that influential young master being in Xian City made her uneasy. No one knew what tricks he might use against her. The future was uncertain and fraught with danger. Who wouldn't he be afraid? Qinyang, however, seemed very relaxed. He reclined his seat slightly, comfortably lying back and closing his eyes to rest. His demeanor was very relaxed. Excuse me, could you please let me through? Suddenly, a fragrant breeze wafted over, accompanied by a soft, sweet voice. Qinyang opened his eyes, his pupils instantly widening. Su Yulan? In the aisle, right next to Qinyang, stood an enchanting beauty with a delicate figure and exquisite features, her face a blend of playful charm and grace. Her large, watery eyes seemed to speak. Yulan, is that you? Lu Cece suddenly spoke up, looking at the beauty. Su Yulan turned to look back. Cece, is it really you? The two stunning beauties embraced warmly. A collision of top-tier charm that left Qinyang dumbfounded. One was a music diva whose voice captivated the world, and the other was a top actress adored by countless fans. Wow, this scene was quite a spectacle. Su Yulan's seat was right next to Qinyang. Watching the two beauties bond and chat excitedly, he stood up, intending to switch seats with Lu Cece so the two could sit together and have a heart-to-heart. However, the talented actress was quick on the uptake. In a flash, she ended the small talk, turned her waist, and with a sway, she zipped past Qinyang and took the inside seat, throwing him a sweet smile as she did so. Thank you. Qinyang was a bit stunned. He turned to look at Lu Cece, but the diva didn't even glance in their direction. She adjusted her skirt and gracefully returned to her original seat. The two fell silent, like strangers. Qinyang, what is going on? Was that warm embrace just my imagination? He was dazed for 10 seconds before sitting back down. He had intended to politely greet the beautiful actress, but upon seeing her cold expression and furrowed brow, she exuded an aura that seemed to say, do not approach. Qinyang immediately dismissed the thought. Is being a big star so impressive? Who would want to pay attention to you? Qinyang lay down and closed his eyes, leisurely continuing to pretend to sleep. The cabin was very quiet. Just as Qinyang was on the verge of falling asleep, a faint fragrance wafted over. It smelled just like the one from before. Su Yulan? Truly fragrant as her name suggests. The scent of orchids, ethereal like a fairy. It came and went. Sometimes strong and sometimes light, somewhere between rich and fresh. The fragrance was unique and distant, fresh and elegant. Is this the scent of orchids? Qinyang was captivated by the orchid fragrance, unable to extricate himself. Meanwhile, Su Yulan was fuming silently. Who is this guy? Since he knows this leading actress, why hasn't he said a word after sitting down? Does he have no interest in this beauty at all? No curiosity about this leading actress? Eventually, Qinyang fell asleep. Qinyang, wake up, we've arrived. Lu Cece's voice startled him awake. Su Yulan glanced in surprise at Lu Cece and Qinyang. So they know each other? This made her even more displeased. Why is he so familiar with Lu Cece, but doesn't he say a word to me? Without saying a single word, Su Yulong got off the plane directly. Chen Yang, Lu Cece, Ding Xiang, and others followed suit and disembarked. In the parking lot, Ding Xiang's arranged person had already come to pick them up. Miss Cece, please wait a moment. A young man in a suit suddenly called out to Lu Cece. Assistant Wu, why are you here? Lu Cece was surprised. Wu Fifan smiled warmly. Knowing Miss Cece was coming today, President Qin specifically asked me to come early to pick you up. The car is ready. Let us go? As he spoke, he moved to help with the luggage. Lu Cece was very surprised. Where are we going? It seems there is no arrangement today, right? The rehearsal for the opening ceremony should be tomorrow. Wu Fifan still wore a smile. Today, there is an important gathering. The attendees are all big shots from the entertainment industry, top investors. President Qin cares about you a lot. He personally asked you to come. What an honor. We need to hurry. We can't keep the big shots waiting. Upon hearing it was a gathering, Lu Cece immediately thought of Chun Yang's reminder. I'm not feeling well today. Is it possible to? Wu Fifan quickly interjected, no. Miss Cece, you can't make it difficult for me. It's not easy working for President Qin. You know his character. If you go against his wishes, you might never have a chance in the company again. Seeing the ambiguous smile on Wu Fifan's face, Lu Cece hesitated. She knew very well what kind of person President Qin Han was. Those who defied him ended up on the cold bench. No matter if you were a top star or a third-rate celebrity, he would squeeze out your last bit of value. In the days to come, you would be left in endless despair while waiting in vain. I'll go with you. Qin Yang saw Lu Cece's dilemma. Lu Cece felt a moment of joy, but it was short-lived as Wu Fifan immediately crushed her hopes. Mr. Qin only invited Miss Cece, and you can't even bring an assistant, let alone a bodyguard. What kind of event is this? It's all big investors and wealthy elites. Is it appropriate for a small star like you to bring someone along? At this moment, Wu Fifan was no longer all smiles. Instead, he wore a hidden smirk and anger. Lu Cece, having navigated the entertainment industry, naturally understood how formidable those wealthy patrons were. Qin Yang, why don't you take Miss Ding to the hotel first? Once I arrive at the venue, I'll send you the location, and you can come pick me up. Wu Fifan's lips moved as if he wanted to say something, but then held back. As long as Lu Cece was willing to go, the rest would be arranged by Mr. Qin, and he didn't want to meddle further. Qin Yang pondered for a moment and nodded slightly. All right. You must send me the location as soon as possible. He glanced at Wu Fifan again. Mr. Wu, I hope you take good care of Miss Cece. Otherwise, I will be looking for you. A flash of anger crossed Wu Fifan's eyes. How dare a mere bodyguard threaten him? TCH, just a small fry. Doesn't he know his place? With a cold snort, Wu Fifan took Lu Cece away without saying another word to Qin Yang, which could be seen as a form of disregard. Qin Yang smiled, and didn't he take it to heart? If Wu Fifan had good character and wasn't he involved in any schemes, he could choose to ignore him. If he was unwise and chose to aid in wrongdoing, Qin Yang wouldn't mind teaching him a lesson about proper conduct. Lu Cece left, and Qin Yang was in the car with Ding Xiang, Uncle Ming, and Xiaoya. Ding Xiang looked at Qin Yang. Brother Yang, I feel that Mr. Wu isn't here with good intentions. Aren't you worried about Sister Cece's safety? Xiaoya also looked worried. Yeah, Brother Yang, I'm really concerned about Sister Cece. Qin Yang nodded slightly. I know this trip is definitely not simple. However, this is Cece's own affair, involving her career, so she has to weigh the pros and cons and make the decision herself. As a friend, I can't make that choice for her. But don't worry, once things are settled, I will go pick her up immediately. Ding Xiang couldn't help but remind him. You should also pay attention to your safety. Chapter 93. What are you doing in the girl's room? It's fine, I know what I'm doing. Qin Yang smiled, confidence radiating from his eyes. The others felt a bit more at ease. Xiaoya closed her beautiful eyes and clasped her hands in prayer. I hope Sister Cece is safe. Qin Yang couldn't help but smile wryly. Xiaoya, you'd be better off asking me than praying. Xiaoya, however, was quite sincere. Shoo. Brother Yang, you can't say such things. The car fell silent, but concern returned to Ding Xiang's face. Uncle Ming asked, Miss, are you worried about the gambling stone competition? Ding Xiang nodded. Yes, Ding Qiufeng is going all out and is sure to win. What do I have to compete against him? Sighing deeply, Uncle Ming responded. Feeling embarrassed, he said, I'm sorry, it's mainly because my appraisal skills are a bit lacking, otherwise. Ding Xiang comforted him. Uncle Ming, don't say that. You are our family's senior appraiser, serving the Ding family for decades, with great contributions. There are always greater mountains and people beyond. When we encounter a master like the Divine Eye, what more can we say? Just do your best, and I won't blame you for the outcome. Hearing Ding Xiang's words, Uncle Ming's face showed even more guilt, and he fell silent. Ding. Trigger today's intelligence. Intelligence 4. Uncle Ming has been bribed by Ding Qiufeng. Qin Yang was secretly shocked. Just moments ago, Ding Xiang and Uncle Ming had a touching scene of deep loyalty and devotion. Qin Yang was almost moved. Unexpectedly, Uncle Ming had secretly been bought off by the opponent, becoming an undercover agent beside them. In the intelligence report, Ding Xiaofeng had doubled Uncle Ming's salary to buy him off and promised to promote his son. Such bait was laid to reel in Uncle Ming, driving him to spare no effort in securing the final victory for Ding Xiaofeng. The specific tactic was to slack off when selecting raw stones, putting in minimal effort, and at critical moments, leaking important information to Ding Xiaofeng to prevent Ding Xiang from turning the tables. After reading the intelligence, Chun Yang observed coolly, glancing at the worried Ding Xiang and the cunning Uncle Ming, hesitating over whether to inform Ding Xiang of Uncle Ming's betrayal. When the car arrived at the hotel where they were staying, everyone checked in and gradually entered their rooms. Taking advantage of the others' inattention, Chun Yang quietly slipped into Ding Xiang's room. Ding Xiang turned around and was startled to see Chun Yang. "Why are you in my room? Shouldn't you be packing in your own?" Chun Yang chuckled. "I think this room is better, so I wanted to sleep here." Ding Xiang rolled her eyes. "You could have just said so earlier. And we could have swapped." Chun Yang shook his head. "If you leave, what's the point of this room?" Ding Xiang's face flushed. "What nonsense are you talking? If you keep being inappropriate, I'll throw you out." Chun Yang's expression turned serious. "For the upcoming stone gambling conference, I suggest you not fully trust anyone except me. Some things can be shared with them, while others cannot. As for how to distinguish, I will remind or hint to you later." Ding Xiang was very surprised. "Why? Are you afraid there are undercover agents among us?" Chun Yang nodded. Ding Xiang asked again. "Even Uncle Ming can't be fully trusted?" Chun Yang nodded once more. "Better safe than sorry. This trial of yours is extremely important. There should be no room for complacency." Ding Xiang fell silent for a long time. Suddenly, she looked at him. "Are you suspecting Uncle Ming?" Chun Yang maintained his composure and shook his head slightly. "I'm not doubting him, but it's better to be cautious just in case. We are already at a disadvantage. If there are internal risks, we might as well not participate in this competition. It's a certainty that we would face a complete defeat." Diane nodded. "You're right. Thank you for the reminder. This time, I can't afford to have any luck on my side. Even a moment of carelessness could lead to total failure, and I really can't afford to lose." Thinking of her father and grandfather's earnest expectations, Diane felt the pressure on her shoulders increase a few more notches. Seeing that Diane was taking it in, Chun Yang showed a hint of a smile. The reason he didn't expose Ming Shu was threefold. First, there was no evidence, and Diane might not believe him. Second, Chun Yang had a counter-strategy and planned to turn the situation to his advantage. Third, this suggestion didn't target Ming Shu, but encompassed everyone around Diane. Even if a few more people were bought off, it wouldn't affect the overall situation. Ding. Gained 10 points. Current total, 220 points. Keep it up. The information triggered today was successfully utilized, earning him 10 points. Chun Yang was in a good mood. Once he accumulated a bit more points, he planned to draw a lottery to improve his shooting skills. The last time at the secret base of Team 3, his 3 shots were truly embarrassing. He still remembered Wang Xiaoya's disdainful gaze. This was intolerable. He had to improve his shooting skills. Next time, he would shoot again and dazzle Wang Xiaoya with his impressive marksmanship. Ding dong. Ding dong. His phone received 2 messages. Opening it, he saw it was from Lu Cece. One was a location, Shangyun Hotel. The other was a text. "Come pick me up. Room V3 on the 2nd floor." Shortly after, ding dong. Another message came in. "That person has arrived too." Chun Yang's heart sank. This was bad. Something was really going to happen. He immediately called Lu Cece back. But it rang for a long time without being answered. Chun Yang finally panicked. While continuing to dial, he rushed out of the hotel and hopped into a taxi. "To Shangyun Hotel. Please hurry." He tossed a 100 yuan bill to the driver. The driver's eyes lit up, and with a press of the gas pedal, the car sped off. Lu Cece's call still wasn't going through. Chun Yang felt anxious but could only wait. The driver was doing a great job, speeding along. But if they went any faster, they'd risk being pulled over by the traffic police. 20 minutes later, they arrived at Shangyun Hotel. It looked luxurious and upscale. "Thank you, driver. You're awesome." He tossed another 100 yuan and dashed into the hotel. He sprinted up the stairs to the 2nd floor. A quick glance allowed him to spot the V3 room. Standing at the entrance were 4 bodyguards, robust and sharp-eyed. They looked formidable and not to be trifled with. Upon noticing Chun Yang, they immediately adopted a defensive stance. Chun Yang shook his shoulders, feigning calmness, and put on an innocuous smile. "Hey, is the star Lu Cece in the room?" Upon hearing these words, the 4 bodyguards did not relax. Instead, they assumed a combat stance. Chun Yang smiled, realizing he had not made a mistake. His gaze sharpened as he executed a swift move, instantly trapping the 4 bodyguards together. With a gentle push, the 4 professionals rolled away like balls, landing 10 meters away. Chun Yang clapped his hands and calmly pushed the door open. The soundproofing of the private room was excellent. As soon as he opened a crack, a terrified scream from Lu Cece echoed from inside. "No, please." Chapter 94. A severe consequence for beating up the bully Wu Fifan drove Lu Cece to a hotel and brought her directly to the 2nd floor, to the V3 private room. Upon seeing the 4 bodyguards at the door, Lu Cece felt something was off. As soon as she entered the room, she noticed that there were only two people seated at the large table. One was Qin Han, the owner of the entertainment company, and the other was the person she feared the most, Fang Haoyan, the notorious young master. Lu Cece's face turned pale, her hands and feet cold. Fang Haoyan, upon seeing Lu Cece, revealed a playful smile on his stern face. Lu Tianhe, we meet again. Lu Cece dreaded that smile, sensing malice in it. Hello, young master Fang. Fang Haoyan laughed heartily and waved his hand. Sit down, don't be shy, let's talk. Trembling, Lu Cece took the opportunity to sit down, using the table for cover to quickly pull out her phone and send 3 messages. Cece, what are you doing? Qin Han noticed Lu Cece's small movements, and she quickly put away her phone, forcing a laugh. I'm not doing anything. Seeing Lu Cece raise her hands, Qin Han didn't press further. At that moment, Wu Fifan called the waiter to hurry and bring the dishes and drinks. Qin Han chatted with Fang Haoyan, saying, Young Master Fang, are you here in Kaiyun City for the Gambling Stone Convention? Fang Haoyan nodded. Yes, I was invited by Mr. Tang Tianze to attend the opening ceremony. If I can find some good materials, I might have some fun. Qin Han envied. To receive a personal invitation from Mr. Tang, young Master Fang really has some connections. Fang Haoyan replied with a smile. Mr. Tang's family wields immense power in the capital, and our Fang family is also top-notch in Jiangnan province. It's only natural for him to give me this face. Qin Han quickly flattered him. Of course, the Fang consortium in Jiangnan province is indeed respected. Who would dare to not give face? Soon, all the dishes and drinks were served. Qin Han and Wu Fifan stood up simultaneously to toast Fang Haoyan, wishing young Master Fang great success, abundant wealth, and beautiful women everywhere. Lu Cece hurriedly stood up, raised her glass, and pretended to take a sip. Qin Han noticed her small movements. Cece, it's rare to have young Master Fang here today. You should toast him and apologize. Before Lu Cece could refuse, Wu Fifan chimed in. President Qin, I believe a single toast is not enough to show Lu Tianhe's sincerity. 3 cups of wine are necessary to show sincerity, which barely matches the identity of the young master. Qin Han slapped the table and loudly praised. Yes, it must be 3 cups. Lu Cece's face was filled with bitterness. This morning, Qinyang had already reminded her that this banquet was not out of goodwill. Arriving at the scene confirmed Qinyang's suspicion. How could she dare to drink this wine? What if she drank too much? Who knows what would happen? I'm sorry, young master, Mr. Qin. I've been feeling unwell lately and am taking medication, so I'm afraid I can't drink with you. She stood up and poured a glass of orange juice, raising it to toast Fang Haoyan. Young master, I toast you with a drink instead of wine. Fang Haoyan's expression darkened. Bang! He slammed his wine glass on the table, startling everyone. Lu Cece's heart skipped a beat. Her hands trembled, and her legs felt weak. She dared not look directly at Fang Haoyan. Qin Han quickly tried to smooth things over. Young master, please don't be angry. Let me persuade Lu. He turned to Lu Cece. Cece, your achievements today are inseparable from the strong support of Haohan Entertainment. But do you know who the real boss of Haohan Entertainment is? Lu Cece shook her head in confusion. Qin Han clasped his fists towards Fang Haoyan. I only hold 30 of the company's shares. The remaining 70 are held by the young master. He is the true controlling boss. So, you understand, right? Lu Cece's face was full of surprise. It was only today that she realized the real boss of the company was actually this devilish young master. It's over. This time, it's completely over. Wu Fifan saw that she was still hesitant and immediately stood up. Cece, what are you still hesitating for? Whether out of gratitude or respect, you should toast the young master with 3 cups of wine. Without the young master's care and support, we are nothing. Faced with the pressure from everyone, Lu Cece had no choice but to pinch her nose and toast Fang Haoyan. Young master, I toast you. Wu Fifan continued to chatter beside her, eagerly trying to please the 2 leaders, while simultaneously pushing Lu Cece deeper into trouble. These 3 cups must be downed in one go. Otherwise, how can you show your sincerity? After downing the 3 cups, Lu Cece felt dizzy and her vision blurred. Everything appeared double. Mr. Qin, young master, I really can't take it anymore. Lu Cece slurred her words, wanting to leave. Seeing that the fish was already hooked, Fang Haoyan would not let her go. He signaled Qin Han with his eyes to distract her. Qin Han understood immediately and began to show enthusiastic concern. Cece, you performed well this time. After the event is over, I'll give you a long vacation to relax. Lu Cece's mood lifted. Thank you, Mr. Qin, you're really generous. As the 2 were talking, Fang Haoyan took advantage of Lu Cece's inattention to grab her wine glass, pretending to pour more wine while secretly dropping a small pill into the glass. Just about to swirl the glass to speed up the dissolving of the accelerated effect pill, Lu Cece, highly vigilant, suddenly turned her head. At a glance, she spotted a faint white shadow in the wine glass, bubbling with dense, tiny effervescence. Drugged? Alarm bells rang in her mind. No matter what, she couldn't drink this wine. From then on, regardless of what Fang Haoyan said. No matter how Qin Han and Wu Fifan pressured her, Lu Cixi refused to drink. Fang Haoyan flew into a rage. Slam. He pounded the table. You bitch. Since you refuse a face-saving offer, then force it down her throat. Qin Han and Wu Fifan immediately complied, grabbing her arms from both sides to restrain her. Fang Haoyan personally held the wine, forcing it toward her mouth. Ah, no. Help. Lu Cixi shook her head desperately, resisting the drugged wine from entering. Bang. The private room's door was suddenly kicked open. Let her go? Qin Yang roared, rushing in like a gust of wind. He violently pulled the three men away and rescued Lu Cixi. Cixi, are you all right? Lu Cixi, unsteady on her feet, swayed with a flushed face, her words slurred. I'm fine. Take me back. Seeing this, Qin Yang felt a mix of relief and raging fury. He helped Lu Cixi sit on a chair, then charged forward. Slap, slap, slap. He landed 3 heavy blows on Fang Haoyan's face. Instantly, clear finger marks appeared on the handsome face of the young master from a certain family. His lip split and bleeding. Qin Han, terrified out of his wits, rushed over to save Fang Haoyan. Screw you. Qin Yang kicked him flying through the air for 3 meters before he landed on his rear and slid another 3. Trash. Still not satisfied. Qin Yang chased after him and delivered for more slaps. Slap, 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 slap. Qin Han's face immediately swelled red, 2 teeth knocked out. The next second, Qin Yang turned to Wu Fifan. Special Assistant Wu, didn't I ask you to look after Lu Cixi? Is this how you take care of her? Wu Fifan trembled with fear, teeth chattering, unable to utter a word. Without another word, Qin Yang unleashed 10 consecutive slaps. Slap, slap, slap. Directly turning Wu Fifan's face into a swollen mess. Especially the last slap, powerful and heavy, smacked him to the ground. His entire face looked as if it had been mauled by a bear's paw, bruised and bloody. After dealing with them, Qin Yang said nothing. He simply scooped Lu Cixi up in a princess carry and left. Fang Haoyan trembled with rage, eyes bloodshot, pointing at Qin Yang's retreating back and screaming hoarsely, "You bastard! How dare you hit me? Just wait. I'll make sure you're dead." Chapter 95. Frenzied Retaliation. Hidden arrows hard to guard against Lucky Cloud Grand Hotel, 2nd floor. V3 private room. Qin Yang carried Lu Cixi out. The 4 bodyguards at the door stumbled back in fear, retreating several steps. Inside the room, Fang Haoyan touched his bruised cheek, wincing in pain as he sucked in sharp breaths. Who is this guy? Where did he come from? A pig head crawled up from the ground, wearing clothes of a certain individual. The pig head was grinning menacingly. That person is called Qin Yang, a bodyguard hired by Lu Cixi. Damn. Fang Haoyan was furious. How dare a bodyguard be so arrogant? This guy, I must get rid of him. This face. Really a huge embarrassment. As a top young master from a prestigious family in the Jiangnan region, he has never suffered such a great loss. If I don't tear Qin Yang apart, where will I put my face? Qin Han was also badly beaten, losing 2 front teeth. Now he speaks with a lisp. Fang Xiao, we can't let these 2 go. Lu Cixi is ungrateful and dares not to give you face. I think the entertainment industry doesn't need someone like her. As for Qin Yang, how about we find someone to break his legs? Fang Haoyan's face darkened. Lu Cixi, I've already thought it through. The opening ceremony of the stone gambling event will have a rehearsal tomorrow and a formal performance the day after. I must give Tang Tianzi some face. Lu Cixi's performance still needs to include her. Once the performance is over, our company will completely blacklist Lu Cixi. All her activities will be halted. With the contract in hand, she won't be able to turn things around. He paused and smiled proudly. If I can use Tang Tianzi's influence to completely blacklist her in the entire entertainment industry, that would be even better. As for that Qin Yang, break his legs? Absolutely not. I want to tear him to pieces. A strong murderous intent flashed in Fang Haoyan's eyes. Wu Fifan hated Qin Yang to the bone and hurriedly reminded him. Fang Xiao, the 4 bodyguards at the door are quite formidable. But they couldn't stop Qin Yang at all. This guy clearly has real skills. Ordinary people probably can't take him down. Fang Haoyan glanced at Wu Fifan disdainfully. What do you know? Those 4 guys outside are just at the level of junior bodyguards. They can handle ordinary people, of course, but they are far from being able to deal with someone trained. Wu Fifan smiled awkwardly. Of course, such secrets can only be known to someone of your status. However, to deal with Qin Yang, you still need to send some experts. Fang Haoyan was full of confidence. Don't worry. I will send a top expert to ensure this guy is dead beyond recovery. After the 3 finished plotting, they seemed to envision Lu Cixi begging for mercy and Qin Yang being left in pieces, unable to suppress their laughter. Qin Yang took Lu Cixi and got a taxi back to the hotel, directly delivering her to Xiaoya's room. Xiaoya, Cixi drank too much. Give her something to sober up. And she should be fine. Xiaoya hurriedly helped Lu Cixi onto the bed. Qin Yang couldn't lend a hand, so after watching for a while, he returned to his own room. After a tiring day, he decided to wash up and sleep. In the morning, he woke up, took a shower, and felt refreshed. While getting dressed, he checked the news. Ding! Today's Intelligence Update. Intelligence 1. Fong Haoyan seeks revenge on Lu Cixi. Intelligence 2. The Black Tiger is in danger today. Intelligence 3. Best actress Su Yulan is in trouble, having been extorted for $2 million during a stone gambling incident. Opening the first piece of intelligence. Fong Haoyan plans to deliberately attract the attention of the main organizer, Tang Tianzi, during the rehearsal. Tang Tianzi is a prominent figure in the business world of the capital, with extensive connections and significant power. Offending him would make it difficult not only in the entertainment industry, but also in the entire domestic business sector. Given Lu Cixi's personality, something is bound to happen. By then, Fong Haoyan won't need to act. A single word from Tang Tianzi could ensure Lu Cixi has no chance to turn things around. Checking the second piece of intelligence. The Black Tiger has already arrived in Cayenne City and is intensively investigating the target individuals. It seems he has made some discoveries, which has attracted the opponent's lethal intent. However, the specific details regarding who will act and when are not clearly stated in the intelligence. In short, this is a life-and-death crisis for the Black Tiger. As for the third piece of intelligence, Chen Yang is somewhat surprised. Just sitting on a plane with Su Yulan once allows him to gather information about her. She has also come to Cayenne City and has been extorted for $2 million by merchants while purchasing raw stones. It's a minor inconvenience. If he encounters her, he'll help her out. If not, he'll just have to regret losing 10 points. He heads downstairs to have breakfast with Lu Cixi, Ding Xiang, and others. Cixi, are you okay? Lu Cixi seems to be in good spirits. I'm fine. Thank you for saving me last night. Otherwise, Chen Yang waves his hand. No need for formalities. I'm still your personal bodyguard. He suddenly becomes serious. I have a feeling something might happen during your rehearsal today. Fong Haoyan lost face yesterday, and he will definitely take action today. You need to be cautious. Lu Cixi's complexion turns pale, and she nods. I will. Chen Yang reminds her again, especially not to offend any big shots. Lu Cixi looks a bit confused but still nods in agreement. Seeing her dazed expression, Chen Yang quickly reassures her. It's okay. I will always be by your side. Ding. Gained 10 points. Current total, 230 points. Keep it up. Looking at the meager points, he recalls his past experience of having over 1,000. Now, seeing just over 200 points feels uncomfortable. When will he break the 1,000 mark? Chen Yang turns to Ding Xiang. What is the specific schedule for the stone gambling event? Ding Xiang explains. Today is all about viewing the bids, both open and sealed, in the stone gambling hall. Before 8 p.m. tonight, sealed bids must be submitted. They will be locked in overnight. Tomorrow morning, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., is the time for open bidding. There aren't many open bids, only 100 items, all of which are partially gambled raw materials. In the afternoon, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., is the time for opening the sealed bids. The dark stone bids account for a large portion, totaling 500 pieces, all of which are high-stakes raw materials. Chen Yang pondered for a moment. This time, how prepared are you financially for the stone gambling conference? Ding Xiang felt a bit proud. My family has gathered a large sum of money for the conference, more than enough to handle it. After a pause, she hesitated again. However, I heard that Ding Qiufeng, in addition to family funds, has borrowed a significant amount from overseas. He should have more available funds than I do. Chen Yang frowned. It seems that besides the Master of Divine Eyes, he indeed has quite a few trump cards. Ding Xiang's mood sank again. The pressure on her is truly immense. The whole family is watching her. Chen Yang smiled confidently. Don't worry, I've got everything covered. Today, you and Uncle Ming should go to the stone gambling hall. Take a look around and assess the situation. Look where you should, bid where you should. No need to wait for me. I'll accompany CC for the rehearsal in the morning and head to the hall in the afternoon. By then, I'll act alone. At the very last moment before the bids close, I will submit the bid under my name again. Of course, the final purchase of the raw stone will still be yours. Ding Xiang was puzzled. Bid for 2? Why? Chapter 96. The Power of Capital. Can you handle it? Chen Yang pretended to be profound. The wise man has his own strategies. He solemnly reminded Ding Xiang. Just go about your day as usual, and with Uncle Ming. Be meticulous in your actions. You need to pretend to be very nervous and seriously examine the goods. Ding Xiang rolled her eyes at him. Does that even need to be faked? She was already very nervous. Only Chen Yang, the carefree guy, looked completely relaxed. She truly doubted whether he took her situation to heart. After giving instructions to Ding Xiang, Chen Yang walked a few steps away, found a secluded spot, and dialed Hey Hu's number. Brother Hu, you're in Cayenne City, right? Hey Hu's voice was low. Yes, Chen Yang subtly reminded him. I feel that the atmosphere here is a bit strange. You need to be careful while you're out there. You never know when or where a formidable person might emerge and pose a serious threat to you. Hey Hu was silent for a moment. Did you receive some news? Chen Yang immediately denied it. I just arrived yesterday. How could I have any news? I just have a bad feeling. Try to find a few more helpers and avoid acting alone. Hey Hu has always trusted Chen Yang's instincts. All right, I understand. I will be careful. Just as he was about to hang up, Chunyang added one more thing. I'm in Cayenne City. If you encounter any danger, call me immediately. Hu felt a bit touched. Brother, thanks. After hanging up the phone, Chunyang accompanied Lu Cici and Xiao Yu to attend the rehearsal. Ding. Gained 10 points. Current total, 240 points. Keep it up. Yay. Another 10 points credited. Day by day, I will eventually become invincible. For this stone gambling conference, the organizers specially held an opening ceremony to attract attention. Some performing stars were invited to do warm-up performances, among them, Lu Cici and Su Yulan, both top-tier celebrities. This morning was just a rehearsal. The official performance will take place tomorrow morning from 8 to 9:30. Backstage, Chunyang saw the actress Su Yulan again and caught a whiff of her unique fragrance. He wanted to remind her about the extortion incident, but Su, the big star, had a cold demeanor that made him instantly dismiss the thought. He moved away from her, keeping a respectful distance. Su Yulan glanced at Chunyang and noticed he was keeping his distance, seemingly afraid of any interaction. She couldn't help but stomp her foot in frustration. What does this mean? He was so warm with Lu Cici but avoided her like the plague. Was she really that much worse than Lu Cici? At this time, the performance guests were preparing backstage. One program after another was presented on stage, while the stage director and some important leaders and VIPs sat in the audience. Among them, Tang Tianzi occupied the front row center seat, next to Fang Haoyan. Mr. Tang, this event is very grand, Fang Haoyan remarked. Tang Tianzi turned his head to glance at Fang Haoyan. Thanks to your strong support. Fang Haoyan smiled. Of course I'm paying attention to your matters. This time, not only will I buy the raw stone, but I've also arranged for our star performer, Miss Lu Cici, to take the stage. Look, she's on stage now. At that moment, Lu Cici, dressed elegantly, danced and sang joyfully to the music. Her sweet voice and enchanting movements captivated everyone. Fang Haoyan stole a glance at Tang Tianzi. Noticing he was deeply engrossed. Secretly pleased, he said, Mr. Tang, Miss Cici has always admired you. After the performance, shall we visit the backstage to show our support? Tang Tianzi thought for a moment and nodded slightly. Sure, let's show our support and motivate them for tomorrow's performance. Feeling good about the first step's success, Fang Haoyan encouraged Tang Tianzi to visit the backstage to see the performers right after the rehearsal. The stage director, quick to notice the big boss's intention to visit the actors, rushed backstage and shouted, Everyone, don't leave. Let's warmly welcome Mr. Tang for his support. Applause erupted in the venue. Chunyang felt a stir in his heart. He knew they had arrived. Under Fang Haoyan's company, Tang Tianzi walked backstage, shaking hands with each performer and offering a few encouraging words. When it was Lu Cici's turn, they shook hands and were about to let go when Fang Haoyan suddenly suggested, Miss Lu, Mr. Tang came specifically to see you. Tonight, our company will host a dinner for Mr. Tang. How about you come and toast him a few times? Lu Cici was startled and quickly pulled her hand away from Tang Tianzi. I'm sorry, Mr. Tang, but I don't drink. Tang Tianzi's expression instantly darkened. Fang Xiao, we are afraid we can't afford the presence of the heavenly Queen Lu. Fang Haoyan seized the opportunity to vent his anger, casting a cold glance at Lu Cici. What do you mean? Are you refusing to give Mr. Tang face? The atmosphere in the room instantly turned cold. Everyone was on edge, not daring to make a sound. Fang Haoyan's identity was clear to all. He was the richest young man in the Jiangnan province. And everyone knew Mr. Tang's background as well. He was a prominent figure from a prestigious family in the capital. Offending these two individuals meant that even if there were 10 Lu Cici or 10 movie queens, it wouldn't matter. Everyone was thinking about keeping their distance from Lu Cici in the future to avoid trouble. Chunyang had been watching coldly from the sidelines. He didn't expect Fang Haoyan to be so malicious, dragging Tang Tianzi into the fray to deal with Lu Cici. This tactic of using another's strength to eliminate a target was quite skilled. Mr. Tang, hello, Miss Cici really isn't good with alcohol, please be understanding. Chunyang took the initiative to step forward and greet Tang Tianzi. Tang Tianzi looked at the young man in front of him and found the first impression quite good. He carried himself with grace and composure. He was likely the protector of the heavenly Queen Lu. Tang Tianzi rarely extended his hand first, but he did so to shake hands with Chunyang. Young brother, you have quite the presence. May I ask which noble family you come from? Before Chunyang could respond, Fang Haoyan interjected. Mr. Tang, he has nothing special. Just a small bodyguard next to Lu Cici. Tang Tianzi was skeptical, but instinctively withdrew his hand. Chunyang smiled and replied, That's right, Mr. Tang. I'm not a noble young man. I'm just temporarily acting as Miss Cici's bodyguard at her request. Upon hearing Chunyang's admission, Tang Tianzi suddenly felt a bit regretful. Shaking hands earlier seemed a bit hasty. He coldly looked at Fang Haoyan and said, Young Master Fang, what explanation does your Haoyan entertainment plan to give me? Fang Haoyan glared at Lu Cici. I'll give you one more chance. Think carefully before you answer. If you dare not give Mr. Tang face, you can forget about surviving in the entertainment circle. Lu Sisi felt anxious and helpless. She looked at Tang Tianze and then at Qin Yang, unsure of what choice to make. Many people in the entertainment industry at the scene shook their heads quietly. Most of them had experienced similar situations before, and the only outcome was submission and compliance. If Lu Sisi didn't want to be blacklisted, there was only one path she could take. There were no other options. Ding. Trigger today's intelligence. Intelligence 4. Chapter 97. The Black Tiger is in a deadlock. Save me. Ding. Trigger today's intelligence. Intelligence 4. Tang Tianze will collaborate with the Fang Consortium to jointly establish a pharmaceutical company, developing a series of medicines targeting the physical constitution of the Dragon Nation. This is all part of a scheme by foreign spies. Qin Yang was taken aback. This intelligence clearly indicated a significant matter. He immediately checked the detailed information. The intelligence showed that it was Fang Haoyan who was the intermediary. The head of the Fang family, Fang Haoyan's father, Fang Yunpeng, is personally overseeing the introduction of the most advanced biopharmaceutical technology from abroad. The cooperation involves personnel and resources from that country, assisting the Fang family in producing and selling this biopharmaceutical technology in the region. It is misleadingly touted as a health and wellness initiative, but in reality, it affects the DNA of the local population, leading to unpredictable mutations, gradually reducing reproductive capabilities, impacting intellectual development, and causing mental disorders. The malicious intent behind this is appalling. The Fang family's power in the region is not as strong as the Tang family's, so they are trying every means to pull the Tang family into this venture. Tang Tianze has already engaged in multiple rounds of negotiations with Fang Yunpeng and has met with a representative from that country, John, preparing to formally sign a cooperation agreement next month. The foreign party is responsible for the technology, the Fang family handles production, and Tang Tianze is in charge of sales. Once production begins, the annual revenue could reach hundreds of billions. Such a massive influx of pharmaceuticals will lead to uncontrollable mutations in the local population, resulting in irreversible and significant harm. After reading the intelligence report, Qin Yang was drenched in cold sweat, horrified. The actions of that country are utterly inhumane. They dare to engage in such unethical practices. Meanwhile, Lu Sisi is being pushed to the brink. If she refuses, she will be blacklisted. Everyone is watching her, waiting to see what she decides. Suddenly, a strange voice whispers in Tang Tianze's ear, "Mr. Tang, if you want to avoid a disaster, do not pressure Lu Sisi. And stay away from the Fang family." Tang Tianze trembles. Who is speaking to me? Fang Haoyan looks confused. "Mr. Tang, no one is talking to you." The director is also puzzled. "Mr. Tang, is someone speaking to you?" Tang Tianze looks around, confused. "Stop looking, you won't find me." The voice is processed and can be freely controlled by Qin Yang, capable of being either his original voice or altered. "Do you not believe what I'm saying?" Tang Tianze subtly nods. "Then let me ask you, are you planning to collaborate with the Fang family to establish a pharmaceutical company? With the name Eternal Life Pharmaceuticals already decided?" Tang Tianze's eyes widen in shock. How does the other party know such confidential information? Don't be surprised. There's more that will astonish you. Behind the Fang family is that country. I believe you have already been in contact with their representatives. These individuals are spies aimed at undermining the local population's health. The drugs may seem fine upon initial testing, but long-term use will severely impact the DNA of the population, leading to unpredictable mutations and ultimately irreversible damage. This is a strategy of annihilation against the local people. The Fang family, as a pawn of that country, will face severe legal consequences, and you will become a national traitor, condemned for all eternity when the truth comes out. Your family will be plunged into an irretrievable abyss because of you. Tang Tianze was so frightened that his legs went weak, and he sat down in the chair beside him. The director immediately expressed concern. "Tang, are you all right?" Tang Tianze waved his hand, steadied his mind, and forced a strained smile at Lu Sisi. "Forget it, just perform well. It was all a misunderstanding." At the same time, he nodded slightly at Qin Yang, revealing a friendly smile. He had a feeling that this young man was not simple. Fang Haoyan was anxious. "Tang, what's wrong?" Tang Tianze's expression turned cold as ice. "Young Master Fang, please inform your father that our cooperation is hereby terminated." At that moment, Fang Haoyan was like a ticking time bomb. After finishing his words, Tang Tianze immediately got up and left quickly. This was not a place to linger. After Tang Tianze had walked a few steps, a strange voice echoed in his ears. "Mr. Tang, you made a wise choice." Tang Tianze paused for a moment, suddenly straightened his attire, and bowed towards the four directions, thanking the wise one for their guidance. Qin Yang smiled faintly and said nothing more. Tang Tianze was a smart man. If what Qin Yang said was all fabricated, it couldn't have been so detailed. This was clearly information that could only be revealed with a certain level of understanding. The Tang family was a prominent family in the capital, placing great importance on national interests and the greater good. If they made a mistake on major issues, it would not only be a loss for Tang Tianze, but could also lead the Tang family to an irretrievable state. Therefore, he was very decisive, cutting ties completely. That was the wisest choice. After the rehearsal ended, Lu Cece was so scared that her face turned pale. Qinyang smiled to comfort her. Cece, don't be afraid. I'm here. Lu Cece was still in a daze when suddenly, Qinyang's phone rang. He took it out to see that it was a call from Black Tiger. Qinyang walked to the side and pressed the answer button. Hello? Brother Tiger, what's up? Brother, come save me. Black Tiger's voice was weak. Qinyang's head buzzed. Brother Tiger, are you alright? Black Tiger chuckled self-deprecatingly. Just a little injury, a bit of blood. I'm not dead yet. But I've fallen into their trap, and I'm surrounded. Qinyang asked anxiously, where are you? How many of them? Black Tiger was panting. At Drum Mountain. I brought 3 people. 2 are dead, 1 is injured. And I'm barely holding on. There are 5 of them, all experts. The weakest is a high-level warrior. Qinyang felt uneasy. What about the strongest? What level are they? Black Tiger thought for a moment and shook his head. I don't know. They're too strong. I can't tell. Oh no, they're coming. The call suddenly dropped. Qinyang didn't dare to call back. He ran back to Lu Cece. Cece, go to the stone gambling hall and look around, and tell Ding Xiang. I have urgent business to attend to, and we'll be back this afternoon. Without waiting for Lu Cece to respond, Qinyang dashed away like the wind. Black Tiger was in imminent danger. Not a second can be wasted. Hail a taxi immediately. Get in and hand over 1,000 yuan. Driver, get to the foot of the mountain within 20 minutes. If you're late by a minute, I'll deduct 100 yuan. Do as you see fit. The driver's eyes lit up. He shifted gears, stepped on the gas, and accelerated. Everything was done in one go. This 1,000 yuan, not a single bill less. If I arrive a minute early, is there a reward? Qinyang nodded. For every minute early, an additional 100 yuan. Great. The driver's smile almost split his face. The taxi felt like it was flying. Qinyang was anxious and panicked, fearing even a minute's delay. If the Black Tiger couldn't hold on, he would be done for. He was also worried about encountering a skilled opponent. If he couldn't handle it, they would both be in trouble. Chapter 98. The Little Bird as a Detective. I am the Mountain King. The foot of the mountain was located in the outskirts of Cayenne City, about a 35-minute drive away. The driver managed to reach the foot of the mountain in just 17 minutes, earning a quick 1,300 yuan. Qinyang jumped out of the car and looked up. The mountain was tall and densely forested, sprawling over a vast area, with 3 peaks arranged in a triangular formation. Qinyang was currently at the foot of the southern peak. The Black Tiger had called in a hurry but hadn't specified which peak it was. Qinyang didn't dare to call back to ask. He listened carefully but heard no sounds. The only option now was to head into the mountain and search. Qinyang charged into the dense forest. The surroundings darkened, and the temperature dropped suddenly. A dangerous aura instantly enveloped him. Qinyang felt uncertain. If he stumbled upon an enemy or fell into an ambush, wouldn't that be the end? No. I need to draw a prize. What if I draw the skill of keen hearing or a potion to enhance my combat power? That would be immensely useful for finding or rescuing someone. Ding. You have earned 10 points. Current total, 250 points. Keep it up. The system was a bit unreliable, only now rewarding him for today's triggered intel. Qinyang thought to himself, I'll use these 10 points to see if I can draw a big prize. Start random draw. Ding. Detected host. Currently holding 250 points. 3 types of draws available for selection. 1. Unreliable draw, deduct 10 points. 2. Abnormal draw, deduct 50 points. 3. Big explosion draw, deduct 100 points. Please choose. With only 250 points, Qinyang, who had always lived frugally, couldn't afford to spend recklessly. Spending a little to achieve a lot was his style. I'll go for the unreliable draw. If it's unreliable, so be it. I might just get lucky and draw something good. Skills like the Essence Cleansing Pill, Strength Pill, Soul Capturing Hand, or God-level driving all came from unreliable draws. Ding. Draw complete. Congratulations. You have obtained the Beast Language skill, entry level. Deducting 10 points, current remaining points, 240 points. This time, not bad at all. I won on the first try and only spent 10 points. In an instant, Qinyang felt a rush, and his throat tingled. He learned an extremely rare skill in a second. Animal language? Qinyang was a bit speechless. He originally wanted to draw a skill for enhanced hearing. And now he can use this. What can he do with animal language? Train monkeys at a circus? Flap. A small bird, startled, flapped its wings to take off. Qinyang's intuition kicked in. Chirp, chirp. He said a few simple phrases in bird language. The little bird suddenly quieted down and stopped trying to escape. Chirp, chirp. The bird responded with a few words. Qinyang was overjoyed. The animal language skill was indeed useful, and very useful, but it was only at the beginner level. A bit too basic. It could only communicate with simple syllables, which was quite inconvenient. Upgrade animal language. According to the levels of animal language, beginner level allows only simple syllable communication. Intermediate level allows smooth communication. Advanced level can establish goodwill. Perfected level allows for trade interactions and mutual benefits. Reaching the perfected level should be sufficient, right? Anymore, and the points might not hold up. Upgrading to perfected level. Ding. Consumed 60 points. Animal language upgraded to level 4, perfected level. Current remaining points, 180 points. Upgrade complete. Qin Yang's gaze toward the little bird instantly softened. Hello, little bird. Chirp. Hello. The bird flapped its wings, chirping back. My name is Qin Yang, what's your name? I'm called Little Point. Why are you different from the other bad people? In what way? The others are all very bad. When they see us, they either hit us or catch us. And you can talk to me, while others cannot. Haha, I'm a good person, and a very powerful good person. Qin Yang, why did you come here? Little Point, I want to ask you for a favor. If you're willing, I'll give you lots of delicious food. Saying this, Qin Yang took out some rice and mung beans from his personal space. Little Point looked at them, very tempted. I'm willing to help. Just tell me what to do. Qin Yang said, I have a friend who is being chased by bad people in the mountains. Can you find some more little partners to help me search? Once you find them, let me know right away. All the little partners that help will be rewarded. Qin Yang grabbed a handful of mung beans. He raised his palm. Little Point flew down, pecked at a mung bean, and happily flew away. In less than 5 minutes, dozens of little birds flew in from the dense forest. Each bird carried a mung bean and soared away. Qin Yang leisurely sat on a large rock, quietly waiting for news from Little Point. Suddenly, a large snake slithered up to Qin Yang, stealthily preparing to ambush him. You sneaky snake, do you want to die? Daring to provoke me? The big snake was almost dumbfounded. How can you, a bad person, speak? Qin Yang couldn't help but shake his head. Warning, you cold-blooded creature can speak, and as the leader of all beings, how could I not speak? Enough chatter, get lost. If it weren't for my business, I would have skinned you alive and had a feast of roasted snake meat. The snake, frightened, quickly slithered away. It is said that snakes are venomous, but humans are even more ruthless. This terrifying monster is best left alone. About 20 minutes later, the little bird finally flew back. Qin Yang, your friend has been found. On the mountain peak to the west. I'll take you there. Qin Yang felt a surge of joy. With a push off his toes, he suddenly soared up over 10 meters. Then, using the tree trunks for leverage, he quickly climbed to the top of the tall tree. With a light step, he flew over the grass, following closely behind the little bird, leaping swiftly. The little bird was stunned, forgetting to flap its wings. Qin Yang, how are you so powerful? Qin Yang laughed heartily. I told you, I'm quite impressive. The little bird felt fortunate to have such a powerful friend instead of an enemy. The pair flew for 8 minutes and soon reached the mountain peak to the west. Qin Yang, this won't do. We need to hurry down. Qin Yang was taken aback. Why? The little bird reminded him. Your friend is surrounded by 5 bad guys and is unable to fight back. He has already been injured. If you go over like this, you might also fall into an ambush. Qin Yang instantly understood. You're right. Let's sneak over through the dense forest. In the next moment, Qin Yang jumped down from the tree and dove into the underbrush. The little bird also lowered its flying height, weaving through the lush jungle. 2 minutes later, Qin Yang stopped and hid behind a large tree. 100 meters away was a flat grassy area. Black Tiger was surrounded by 5 foreign foes, each wielding long knives, swords, or daggers. Several handguns lay discarded on the ground, likely out of ammunition, forcing them to fight with blades. In an instant, Qin Yang recalled that he had a handgun and 50 bullets in his personal space. Unfortunately, with his poor shooting skills, it would be more reliable to rely on his grappling skills and combat techniques. He took a closer look. The 5 foreign foes were indeed formidable. 3 were elite soldiers. 1 was a junior warrior, and the leader was a strong intermediate warrior. Qin Yang felt a chill run through him. Such a powerful group meant that if he went up, it would be certain death. Black Tiger had attempted to break free several times, but had been repelled each time. Resolved to fight to the end, he gripped his military dagger tightly, no longer trying to escape. The leader, the intermediate warrior, sneered coldly. You learned something you shouldn't have. Do you still want to live? Attack, kill him. This secret must not be exposed. Chapter 99. Truly can't hold on. Where's the reinforcements? In the enemy camp, 3 elite soldiers, 1 junior warrior, 1 intermediate warrior. In our camp, Black Tiger is an elite soldier, injured, with an uncertain remaining combat strength. Qin Yang is an intermediate soldier. Of course, he has combat skills, star-picking hands, and sky-treading steps. His practical combat ability is comparable to that of a mid-level warrior. However, this comparison is not entirely accurate, at least in terms of physical fitness. He does not reach the level of a mid-level warrior and remains at the standard of a mid-level soldier. Moreover, his practical experience is scarce, or rather, virtually non-existent. The opponent is a small-time spy leader, certainly battle-hardened and extremely experienced. The combat power they can unleash is definitely not something a novice like him can handle. Qin Yang hid behind a large tree, deep in thought. Suddenly, he had an idea. Little buddy, can you find some fierce birds? like eagles, golden eagles, or vultures, to help me deal with those bad guys. Once the task is accomplished, there will be plenty of meat for the participating comrades. Of course, you won't miss out on your share. The little buddy tilted its head and thought for a moment, feeling a bit scared. Are you sure there will be plenty of meat? If you can't deliver later, they'll definitely eat me. Qinyang nodded emphatically. Absolutely enough. The little buddy hesitated again before flapping its wings and flying away. After hiring an aerial team, Qinyang wanted to recruit a group of ground helpers as well. Otherwise, he really wouldn't stand a chance against those foreign foes. After walking a few steps in the dense forest, he indeed found a helper, a hungry wolf. Hey, it's you. Stop looking around and come over. I'm calling you. A voice suddenly reached the hungry wolf's ears. It jumped up and retreated several meters, staring at Qinyang with great caution. Don't be afraid. I'm a good person. How about making a deal with me? The hungry wolf hesitantly replied. Are you talking to me? What kind of deal? Qinyang smiled. Yes, I'm talking to you. I want to ask you for a favor. And all this meat is yours. With a thud, Qinyang threw out a large pig's trotter from his portable space. The hungry wolf's eyes instantly lit up. Whoosh. It dashed over and snatched the pig's trotter, placing it at a distance. Now, tell me what you need help with? Qinyang was secretly amazed. This wolf was indeed cunning. It first secured the meat before inquiring about the task. I need you to find some helpers, like wolves, bears, cheetahs, wild boars, buffaloes, tigers, and so on, those with attack power. Help me deal with the bad guys outside. As long as the task is completed, every participating comrade will get a whole sheep. The hungry wolf's eyes gleamed with greed. Is there really a whole sheep? Qinyang directly took a sheep from his portable space and then instantly retrieved it. The hungry wolf finally believed him. All right, I'll go find them right now. Qinyang hurriedly asked. I'm in a rush. How long will you need? The hungry wolf thought for a moment. If I go quickly, I can gather 10. If I take longer, I can get 50. Qinyang quickly replied, 10 will do. Hurry back. The hungry wolf turned and dashed into the dense forest. Qinyang returned to his hiding spot behind a tree. And when he looked at the scene in the distance, he was shocked. The two warriors had not made a move. But 3 high-level soldiers had already beaten the black tiger to the point where it was unable to fight back. Qinyang panicked. If he didn't act soon, the black tiger would really be done for. But the aerial squad and the ground helpers have not returned. What's the difference between rushing out now and seeking death? Just as Qinyang hesitated, a scream pierced the air. Ah! Black Tiger cried out in agony as his left arm was cut by a blade, blood staining his sleeve. Ha ha! Black Tiger laughed heartily. Once I die, you won't survive either. The leader scoffed, curling his lip. Don't worry, when you die, we will definitely survive. Once we take you down, the secrets here will remain hidden. In the future, everyone from your nation will become fools, madmen, or even unable to reproduce. Ha ha! Your people shouldn't exist. Only by eliminating you can the world truly be free. The nearby spies laughed, as if they could already envision the moment their conspiracy succeeded and they withdrew unscathed. Nonsense. With a bunch of trash like you think you can destroy us? Qinyang walked over slowly from a distance, step by step. He moved deliberately, each step calm and unhurried, successfully drawing the attention of the outsiders. The leader quickly warned, this person knows there are 5 of us and still dares to come in. His demeanor is calm, and his steps are steady. He must be a master. Everyone, stay alert and don't be careless. You too. Go around to the back and don't let him escape. 3 elite soldiers immediately split up, with 2 flanking from behind, leaving 1 to keep an eye on Black Tiger. The leader and a junior warrior faced Qinyang head-on. Qinyang walked step by step, appearing relaxed, but inside he was panicking. With each step, he was getting closer to death. Moreover, he could see someone flanking from behind. He couldn't be anxious. He needed to stay steady to control the pace and delay as much as possible. Rest assured, I won't run. Today's situation is either I die or you perish. No one gets to run. Qinyang's words revealed a sense of confidence and determination that sent chills down the leader's spine. Uncontrollably, his body tensed, ready to face a thunderous strike at any moment. Black Tiger was both surprised and delighted to see Qinyang, yet even more anxious. Brother, you shouldn't have come. If I get caught, your coming here will only add another life to be lost. Qinyang forced a smile. I can't just watch you die, can I? Glancing behind him, he realized it was probably too late to leave now. Black Tiger showed a touched expression. The next second, he suddenly shouted, they are spies from a certain country, secretly collaborating with the Fang group to develop a drug targeting our nation's physiology with malicious intent. They must be destroyed. Their secret research base is hidden in this forest. You must break through and send this crucial information out. Brother, this information is more important than my life. Qinyang forced a smile. The premise is that I have to be able to get out. He had already closed in on the leader of the outsiders, within 20 steps. The 2 secret teams had not made a sound. What to do now? The leader was fully prepared. Hearing the words of the Black Tiger, his expression darkened. He shouted loudly, act quickly, leave none alive. He was the first to take action, brandishing his weapon and leaping forward with the agility of a leopard. In just a few steps, he closed the distance in an instant. His speed was no slower than that of Chun Yang's movement technique. Qin Yang had nowhere to evade and could only unleash his strongest attack, striking with a force that could shatter stone. Bang! His palm struck the side of the weapon, creating a tremendous noise. The recoil sent both Qin Yang and the leader stumbling back. Qin Yang retreated 8 steps, while the leader took 3. In terms of physical attributes, Qin Yang was at a significant disadvantage. In a direct confrontation, he truly was no match. With just one move, the leader assessed Qin Yang's capabilities. His techniques were fierce and lethal, but his physical condition was weak, and his vulnerabilities were evident. Joseph, this person is not my match. Let's take him down together quickly to avoid any changes, the leader instructed. The junior warrior Joseph nodded in agreement and moved in closer. Qin Yang nearly spat blood in frustration. What the hell? You're not playing fair? You're clearly stronger than me, and you still want to gang up? Is this how you treat people? Chapter 100, Terrified Westerners. Do you practice sorcery? Haha. Leaders David and junior warrior Joseph exchanged hearty laughter. Kid, is there fairness in this world? The strong unite to bully the weak. That is the truth. Just accept your fate. David's blade and Joseph's sword were both pointed at Qin Yang. Qin Yang felt a strong sense of murderous intent. You Westerners came here over 100 years ago to pillage and burn. Now, our country has awakened and is no longer an era where we can be bullied at will. Do you believe that soon I will make you regret it? David became furious. You dare to speak so boldly when death is imminent. Joseph rubbed his bald head, looking visibly impatient. Yellow-skinned kid, if you want to fight, then just fight. Stop your whining. Qin Yang remained unfazed, firmly holding onto a strategy of delay. An ancient saying goes, to punish without teaching is cruelty. I must tell you where you went wrong. If you can come to your senses and kneel to beg for mercy, I might still give you a chance. Joseph, infuriated, charged forward first. His large sword swept through the air with a fierce wind, aiming directly for Qin Yang's face. David, worried about Joseph's safety, quickly followed suit. The blade's edge gleamed ominously, overtaking the large sword and striking down at high speed. Qin Yang's expression changed. This was bad. Overstimulated, he panicked. He quickly executed his movement technique, darting away. The black tiger had been observing silently and was surprised to see Qin Yang say the harshest words while taking the most cowardly action. He didn't even strike back and simply ran away. Trying to escape? Not so easily, David sneered, increasing his speed and closely tailing Qin Yang. Their speeds were comparable. But the difference was that Qin Yang moved gracefully and fluidly, while David's movements were brutal, leaving deep footprints with each stomp. Joseph's physical condition was relatively poor, unable to catch up with Qin Yang. He was panicking. Qin Yang's figure was as swift as the wind, charging towards one of the elite soldiers. The soldier, startled, turned to flee. Unfortunately, in front of Qin Yang, his speed was like that of a toddler learning to walk. In less than 3 seconds, he was caught. With a single strike, he pierced through the soldier's chest, leaving a fatal wound. Another elite soldier was terrified, his heart racing. He sprinted away, secretly relieved that he wasn't the one who had just encountered Qin Yang. Otherwise, he would have been the one with a gaping hole in his chest. David cursed loudly. You little brat, are you cheating? Qin Yang chuckled. It's called a feint, do you understand? I said no one gets to run today, including myself. Have you forgotten? David's expression changed immediately. He quickly instructed the other 2 elite soldiers. You 2 form a group to prevent him from picking us off one by one. He glanced at the injured black tiger, who posed no immediate threat, and then turned to Joseph. Let's form a triangular formation and take him down together. All right. The remaining 4 responded in unison, quickly forming a large triangle that trapped Qin Yang in the center, cutting off his escape route. Qin Yang shouted to the sky. If you're not going to make your move, then when will you? David and the others were startled, nervously scanning their surroundings. After a long wait, there was no movement. Joseph couldn't hold back first, yellow-skinned kid, cornered and still making noise. Do you think a shot will scare us? David shot a glance at Black Tiger. Do you think that guy can still help you? Dream on. You 2 are as good as dead today. Black Tiger looked ashamed. Brother, I really can't go on. My legs are injured, I can't run. My arms are hurt too, I can't exert strength. I'm afraid I really can't help. Qin Yang was anxious. Why hadn't the 2 waves of reinforcements arrived? Could it be that they were intimidated by the strong enemy and backed out? David launched another attack, sweeping his blade horizontally, aiming to slice Qin Yang in half at the waist. Qin Yang pushed off with his foot, stepping on the blade and diving towards Joseph. This guy had a volatile temper and was slightly weaker, making him a perfect target. Joseph felt humiliated and shouted, "Hey!" swinging his large sword down. Qin Yang crouched low and slipped out from the side, his posture somewhat awkward. Joseph laughed. Yellow-skinned kid, I thought you were going to escape through my legs. Qin Yang was displeased and shouted, "Hurry up and take down the big bald guy." Joseph sneered, pointing at Chen-Yang, trying to intimidate him. Suddenly, David's expression changed. Joseph, watch your head. Unfortunately, it was too late. Ah! Joseph screamed in agony as a hawk swooped down and pecked out his left eye, blood filling the eye socket. Upon closer inspection, the eyes are gone, already fallen into the mouth of the eagle. Joseph, a true novice warrior, endures the excruciating pain. He tears open a strip of cloth and bandages his injured eye. Holding a large sword, he glares at the eagle in the sky with one eye. Come down. You little beast. I'll slay you with one strike. The eagle ignores him and screeches loudly. Suddenly, from the dense forest, dozens of birds of prey fly out. Some large, some small, led by a little one. There are eagles, large hawks, vultures, and many other unknown fierce birds. Chen-Yang, the team I gathered is impressive, right? Chen-Yang beams with joy. Not bad. Little one, you did well. Wait a moment. Everyone will be rewarded. You deserve the biggest reward, a bag of mung beans. The little one is very happy. It's hard to find mung beans in the jungle. A whole bag can last a long time, right? Little one. You command everyone to focus their attacks on the bald man. We must stop him from getting close to me. The little one excitedly replies, okay. After a flurry of chirping, all the raptors launch a fierce attack on Joseph. Joseph is extremely tense, swinging his large sword like a fan, preventing the birds from getting close. David furrows his brow in silence. Joseph's defense cannot last long. At most, he will be exhausted in 10 minutes. Kill. First. Deal with this kid. David leads two elite warriors towards Chen-Yang. Only by eliminating Chen-Yang can Joseph's crisis be resolved. The triangular formation is broken, and Chen-Yang can flee again, making David run around in a panic. David is anxious. Block him. The two elite warriors unleash their strongest combat power to seal the gap. David uses secret techniques to temporarily enhance his cultivation, significantly increasing the power of his battle knife. Chen-Yang is starting to struggle, dodging left and right, looking quite disheveled. He even has a cut on his back from the blade, causing him to grimace in pain. Suddenly, a beastly roar echoes through the forest. Chen-Yang is overjoyed, shouting to the heavens again. Come quickly, attack the curly-haired one and the black guy. The next moment, with a rumble, led by the hungry wolves, a dozen fierce beasts rush out of the woods. Gray wolves, cheetahs, black bears, wild boars, and more, charging straight at the two elite warriors, frightening a few foreign soldiers to the point of trembling. David points at Chen-Yang, his eyes wide like copper bells. You know witchcraft? In Chapter 101, with fierce birds in the air and savage beasts on the ground, the foreign soldiers look utterly bewildered. Is this a dream? Or have they entered hell? Chen-Yang seizes the opportunity, launching a surprise attack while David is without assistance and distracted. He steps forward with lightning speed, appearing right in front of David, and strikes with a palm, aiming for his chest. What? David, a genuine mid-level warrior with rich combat experience, reacts hastily, unleashing his strongest power to counter. Bang! David stumbles back 3 steps. Chen-Yang was suddenly sent flying into the air. In an instant, he descended from above, executing a move to bind his opponent. He briefly restrained David's body. The opportunity was fleeting, and Chen-Yang had already planned ahead. He suddenly pulled out a handgun and aimed it at David's head. David was stunned. His hair stood on end in shock. Is this really happening? At such close range. Even 9 lives wouldn't be enough to survive a shot. Bang, bang, bang. He fired 3 shots. None hit the target. Chen-Yang's bullets seemed to be under a spell. So close, yet not a single shot found its mark. David, bracing for death, was bewildered. Little did he know, Chen-Yang's bullets just wouldn't hit him, leaving him dumbfounded, unsure if Chen-Yang was playing with him or with the gun. In a fit of anger, Chen-Yang threw the handgun away. David broke into a cold sweat. Then he burst out laughing. Ha! You are the worst shot I have ever seen. No exceptions. Chen-Yang, infuriated, retorted, don't celebrate too soon. I can take you down without a gun. The two engaged in combat once more. Overall, David was stronger and took the offensive. Chen-Yang utilized agile movements and surprise attacks, occasionally striking when the opportunity arose, but he was at a disadvantage. In another moment, after exchanging blows, Chen-Yang resorted to the same trick, leaping into the air and coming down again to bind David. David laughed casually. Kid, don't you find this boring? Using the same move twice? Besides, you don't even have a gun now. Dream on if you think you can win. Bang, bang, bang. 3 gunshots rang out, and 3 small holes appeared in David's back, blood gushing out. His expression froze instantly. Confusion filled his eyes. This kid clearly hadn't drawn a gun. Where did the bullets come from? Turning his head, he saw Black Tiger lying on the ground, holding the handgun that Chen-Yang had tossed aside. Oh, come on. David's body went limp, collapsing to the ground, completely lifeless. Impressive. Chen-Yang gave Black Tiger a thumbs up. Black Tiger smiled proudly. Did you think everyone has your marksmanship? A word of advice. Practice your shooting skills when you get back. Chen-Yang forced a smile. This time, He really embarrassed himself, missing from 3 meters away. What can be said about such shooting skills? It was nothing short of a miracle. The strongest enemy on the scene was already out of the picture. The remaining ones posed no threat. Qin Yang, swift as lightning, charged towards the 2 elite soldiers. Taking advantage of the distraction caused by the beasts, he struck each with a palm. Thud, thud. One strike pierced through stone, clean and decisive. Both were hit in the chest, their hearts exploded. Not far away, Joseph was terrified out of his wits. He no longer wanted to tangle with the vicious beasts and turned to flee. Each step he took was over 10 meters long. His speed comparable to that of a cheetah. Even a sprint champion would have to concede defeat. Qin Yang shouted an order. Chase. We must not let him escape. Little Dot and the Hungry Wolf, each leading their own teams, pursued ahead. Qin Yang was not slow either. He jumped to the treetops and used his agility to catch up quickly. After chasing for about 5 miles, Joseph was finally surrounded by Qin Yang and the beasts. Without a second thought, Qin Yang struck with a powerful palm, hitting Joseph on the shoulder. This guy was robust, and surprisingly didn't get knocked out. Only his bones were shattered in several places, leaving him with just 30% of his combat power. Qin Yang, not believing in evil, raised his hand again. Joseph, terrified, broke into a cold sweat. Thud. He knelt on both knees, one hand raised high. Spare me, I surrender. But the other hand could not be lifted at all, causing him to sweat profusely from the pain. Qin Yang sneered. After doing so many bad things, you think you can just surrender? Why should I? I must kill you today? The threat of death made Joseph's mind unusually sharp. I'm willing to offer all my savings to buy a life. What do you think? Qin Yang paused for a moment, then coldly asked, how much do you have? Joseph hurriedly replied, I have 5 million in a nameless account at a bank. I'll give it all to you. How about that? Qin Yang nodded. All right, you give me this money. And I promise not to kill you. Joseph was overjoyed and immediately told Qin Yang all the necessary details to withdraw the money. Qin Yang was delighted. Coming out to save someone turned out to have unexpected benefits. 5 million converted to local currency was equivalent to 35 million. Counting his total assets, his wealth reached 1 billion. Oh my, he broke through the 1 billion mark. Had he finally become a billionaire? Buying a life made Joseph feel a bit pained, but more so relieved. Sir, can I leave now? Qin Yang waved his hand dismissively. Go ahead. Joseph was overjoyed, deeply bowing to Qin Yang before turning to run. Once he turned, he disappeared into the dense forest. Qin Yang sighed. Why bow to me when you run away? It makes me feel a bit awkward. He looked at Little Dot and the Hungry Wolf. Go, complete the final task, kill him, and bring back the body for a reward. The fierce birds and beasts rushed off to chase him. In less than 3 minutes, the big black bear returned, dragging Joseph's body back. Qin Yang honored his promise, giving each participant a sheep or other rewards, nearly exhausting all the food supplies in his storage. The other companions left, but only Little Dot and the Hungry Wolf lingered. Qin Yang took out some extra snacks. Go back, I'll come see you when I have time. Dragging Joseph's body, Qin Yang returned to the side of the black tiger. Is your body all right? The black tiger shook its head. I'm fine. I've already taken healing medicine. As long as I don't exert myself, I'll recover in about 10 days to half a month. Qin Yang felt very envious. Is there such a miraculous medicine? Can you give me a bit? The black tiger shook his head. Dream on. This kind of medicine is extremely precious. Not just anyone can have it. You'll get a little when you level up again, for emergency use. Qin Yang asked again, what about here? Is there anything I can help with? The black tiger shook his head again. No need. I've already reported to headquarters, and they've sent someone to immediately seal off this area. We must destroy this evil research base completely. Qin Yang felt relieved. In that case, I'll take my leave. I still have important things to do for the Stone Gambling Conference this afternoon, and time is tight. The black tiger nodded. All right, you can go back first. I'll wait here. Qin Yang walked a few steps when the black tiger suddenly called out. Brother, thank you. If it weren't for you today, I would have been done for. Qin Yang didn't look back and waved his hand. The black tiger added, this time, you've made a great contribution. I'll definitely put in a good word for you. It was clear that this time, it wasn't just empty promises. Qin Yang smiled. Sure. You know I love to strive for a bit of reward. The black tiger smiled wryly. Why is this brother so money-minded? Qin Yang took a taxi back to the city center, heading straight for the Stone Gambling Hall. At this time, Ding Xiang was already anxious. Like an ant on a hot pan. Why hasn't Qin Yang returned yet? The bids are about to close. There's no time left. According to the conference procedure, the bidding would officially close before 2000, and it was already 1810. Just checking all 500 bids would take at least 2 hours. And they still had to think of prices and write bid documents. No matter how one calculated it, there simply wasn't enough time. Ding Xiang spent the whole day and submitted a bid for all the dark bids based on Ming Shu's suggestion. However, she felt very uncertain. Ding Xiaofeng had a master with a divine eye, and his ability to assess raw stones far exceeded Ming Shu's. The bids they submitted would surely be more accurate. In the end, The vast majority of good materials would be taken by Ding Xiufeng. This match was definitely Ding Xiufeng's to win. Ding Xiang's only hope now was Qin Yang. Unfortunately, he still hadn't returned. She was secretly angry. What is this guy doing at such a critical moment? Still, she remembered that Qin Yang had said he would resubmit the bid in the last hour. Ding Xiang could only wait patiently. Ming Shu observed Ding Xiang's expression and seemed quite worried, so he tentatively asked, "Miss, do you lack confidence in our bid?" Ding Xiang retorted, "They have a master with a divine eye. How could we possibly win?" Ming Shu felt secretly pleased but appeared very regretful on the surface. "It's all my fault, miss." Ding Xiang waved her hand. "Ming Shu, don't take it to heart. I'm just too anxious and didn't mean to blame you. What can we do if we are not as skilled?" Ming Shu paused and asked, "So, are you waiting for Qin Yang now?" Ding Xiang nodded. "Yes, he is quite lucky. I want to take advantage of his good fortune to increase our odds. But Uncle Ming is left in a dilemma. Miss, while this does involve a certain degree of luck, I isn't it a bit much to rely entirely on him." Ding Xiang sighed deeply. "Do you think I want to? The key is, apart from luck, what else can I rely on now?" Uncle Ming fell silent instantly. Indeed, is there still a chance for Ding Xiang to turn the tables? Haha, of course not. On the surface, he seemed indifferent, but inside, he was overjoyed. This time, as long as he assisted young Master Ding in winning the competition, he would gain tremendous benefits. Time passed minute by minute. Just as Ding Xiang was about to despair, Qin Yang arrived punctually at the stone gambling hall at 1900 hours. Ding Xiang had been waiting anxiously and rushed over, complaining, "Qin Yang, where have you been? I'm almost dying of anxiety. With only an hour left. How do you expect to finish looking at 500 dark markers?" Qin Yang smiled faintly. "Just a minor issue delayed me for a bit. Fortunately, I made it back in time. Now, you and Uncle Ming should head back. You've worked hard all day. I'll just take a stroll by myself." Ding Xiang was anxious. "Aren't you going to help me look?" In that moment, she recalled Qin Yang's reminder and quickly held back her words. Qin Yang blinked. "I don't know how to gamble on stones. How can I help you?" He pointed to the hundreds of raw stones on site. "I'll just take a casual look. Try my luck. If I feel any of them are good, I'll buy one for you. I can't let you lose too badly, can I?" Ding Xiang was left speechless, angrily taking Uncle Ming and leaving the gambling hall. Uncle Ming thought to himself, the dark markers are crucial. If Ding Xiang loses on the dark markers, the chances of winning this competition are slim. Moreover, young Master Ding has prepared ample funds, leaving Ding Xiang with even fewer opportunities on the bright markers. Uncle Ming found a moment to step away from Ding Xiang and secretly messaged Ding Xiufeng. Ding Xiang had no options left. She was bound to lose on the dark markers. All her dark marker choices were suggestions from Uncle Ming. How could she possibly win? Ding Xiufeng received the message and was overjoyed, replying, "Do well. And for tomorrow's bright markers, use some tricks. I guarantee you and your father will rise to prominence." Uncle Ming was elated and returned to Ding Xiang's side, immediately putting on a heavy expression, looking worried. In the gambling hall, Qin Yang quietly activated his golden eye. Starting from the first dark marker, he casually strolled through, as if leisurely walking in a garden, yet it felt like he was counting. He went through all the way to the 500th dark marker in under 10 minutes. In such a short time, he noted down the best 50 raw stones. Returning to those 50 raw stones, he used the golden eye to check the bids of all participants. He eliminated any that were overpriced and offered little profit. There were still 20 raw stones remaining, among which the jadeite had good quality and high value. It almost encompasses all the top 10 exquisite jade pieces in the dark bidding. Moreover, due to their general appearance, all the bids are not high. Qin Yang quickly filled out the bidding documents, adding between 1 yuan to 10,000 yuan to each bid to prevent any suspicion of leakage of the base price, which could invalidate the bids. To avoid any unexpected incidents, Qin Yang submitted all the bids at the last moment before the bidding was closed, then returned to the hotel with a relaxed expression. Ding Xiang had been waiting anxiously and rushed into Qin Yang's room, leaning close to his ear and whispering, "How did it go? Is everything settled?" Qin Yang felt a tickle in his ear from the close proximity and wanted to lean in a bit closer, but was wary of crossing any boundaries, especially considering the other party's formidable nature. "You didn't reveal anything, right?" Ding Xiang shook her head vigorously. "No, I didn't tell anyone." Qin Yang asked. What was Ming Shu's reaction? Ding Xiang thought for a moment. He seemed quite worried and embarrassed. Qin Yang nodded. "Continue to act naturally, as if I haven't done anything. And you are very disappointed." Ding Xiang pressed on stubbornly. "Did you really place the bids or not?" Qin Yang smiled. "I placed 20. Ding Xiang's disappointment was palpable. 20? Out of 500 dark bids, you only placed 20? Qin Yang chuckled bitterly. "Don't be disheartened. Even if it's only 20, I guarantee you won't be disappointed." Ding Xiang looked skeptical. "Really?" Qin Yang shrugged. "Whether it's true or not, the bids are already closed, so you can only hope for the best." Ding Xiang shot him a fierce glare. "If it's a lie, just wait and see how I'll get back at you." Qin Yang laughed. Really going to bite me? How would you do that? Ding Xiang's face flushed bright red, and she stomped her foot and ran off. Qin Yang called after her, I worked all day. Aren't you going to treat me to a meal? An hour later, Qin Yang had dinner with Lu Cixi, Ding Xiang, Xiaoya, and others. Lu Cixi suggested going for a walk, and Qin Yang immediately supported the idea. Ding Xiang didn't want to go, but was dragged out by Qin Yang. He wasn't familiar with any underground stone gambling markets, and without Ding Xiang to guide him, how could he find a super bargain? As soon as they stepped outside, Qin Yang led the conversation in that direction. Xiang, tomorrow is the big showdown. Should we warm up a bit tonight? Ding Xiang looked confused. How do we warm up? Qin Yang pretended to be puzzled as well. Let us find a place, buy a few pieces, and try cutting some stones on site. Ding Xiang suddenly realized. You want to gamble on stones? Fine, I'll take you to the Jade Street. Qin Yang was overjoyed and urged everyone to move quickly. The distance wasn't too far, and they strolled casually until they arrived. The architecture here was quaint and charming, bustling with people. Most shops sold jade and jadeite, but there were also various sizes of raw stones on display. Some were semi-gambling materials with open windows, while others were fully gambling materials without any windows. Qin Yang watched with great interest, but did not make a purchase. He is a billionaire after all. He is not particularly interested unless it's top-quality jade. Suddenly, a crisp sound echoed in the air. Immediately after, a familiar woman's exclamation came from a nearby shop. Qin Yang felt puzzled. Why does that voice sound familiar? Who is it? Lu Cixi, looking anxious, rushed into the shop. Qin Yang's heart stirred, and he followed right behind her. In the jade store, a middle-aged man in his 40s, looking somewhat disheveled and dressed in a floral shirt, pointed at the shattered pieces on the floor and angrily asked, What is the meaning of this? Su Yulan was so scared that her hands trembled. After finishing the rehearsal today, her task was considered temporarily completed. With only the final performance left tomorrow, she had come out shopping with her assistant and spotted a jade pendant that she wanted to try on. However, during the handover, the shop owner let go, and she failed to catch it, causing the pendant to fall and shatter into pieces. Su Yulan swore that it was not intentional. The jade hadn't even reached her hands before it slipped away. You let go before I caught it. This shouldn't be my fault, right? The man in the floral shirt widened his eyes. What do you mean? Are you implying I did this on purpose? Ask around and see what kind of person I am. Would I scam you? Her assistant, Ting Ting, shrank back in fear, not daring to say a word. Summoning her courage, Su Yulan replied, Regardless, you have some responsibility in this matter. How much is this jade worth? I can cover half. The man thought for a moment, his eyes shifting. Fine, half it is. This pendant is top-quality jade, worth a total of 4 million. You give me 2 million, and we're done. Su Yulan was taken aback. 2 million? Are you robbing me? The man slammed the table, causing the teacups to jump. What do you mean? Is 2 million a lot? I could have asked for 5 million, and that would have been generous. Su Yulan realized she had definitely encountered a scam shop today, pulling her assistant. She turned to leave, but was blocked by the man in the floral shirt. Trying to leave? You're not going anywhere without paying 2 million. At the entrance, someone pushed through the crowd, confronting the man. What do you think you're doing? Restricting someone's freedom? The floral shirt man was easily shoved aside, looking embarrassed. Who are you to act so arrogantly? Qin Yang smiled slightly. I'm just a tourist. What is the matter? Are you trying to threaten me or extort me? Upon recognizing Qin Yang, Su Yulan's face lit up with excitement. Thank you. Qin Yang waved his hand. Don't worry about this. I'll handle it. Su Yulan nodded gently, feeling a warm current rise in her heart. At that moment, Lu Cixi, Ding Xiang, and others also squeezed into the store, softly comforting Su Yulan. The man in the floral shirt noticed the crowd and felt a bit uneasy, but he didn't back down. Young man, my item was broken by her. I'm only asking her to pay half. Isn't that reasonable? Qin Yang smiled. Are you sure your item was broken by her? Are you sure your item is worth 4 million? The man in the floral shirt held his ground, raising his head and saying loudly, Of course I'm sure. Qin Yang pretended to take out his phone, as if to make a call. All right, since you were so sure, let's call the police. Your store should have surveillance. We can let the police check to see if it was you who broke this jade or her. The man in the floral shirt glanced at the camera and felt a bit regretful, wishing he had turned it off earlier. Of course she broke it. How could I have broken it? Qin Yang remained calm. Then let's leave it to the police to decide. Who knows? This might not be the first time jade has been broken in your store. The man in the floral shirt panicked. You're talking nonsense. Qin Yang scanned the items in the store, noticing dozens of raw stones. Boss, let's give each other some leeway. We'll forget about the jade. But we can buy a few more of your raw stones. That would help you attract more customers. What do you think? The man in the floral shirt was looking for a way out, and Qin Yang's words came at just the right moment. He quickly thought of a clever idea. That could work, but you must buy several pieces. Qin Yang agreed with a smile and asked the women around him if they wanted to buy some. Ding Xiang tugged at him, hinting that he shouldn't be fooled. Qin Yang shook his head slightly. It's fine. Let's just buy a few pieces. It won't be a big loss. In the end, all the women agreed to buy a few pieces. Even Xiaoya and Su Yolan's assistant, Ting Ting, wanted to buy one to try their luck. Qinyang casually picked a few pieces from the shelf and shook his head. Boss, there are too few raw stones here. Is there any more in stock? The man in the floral shirt beamed with joy, knowing that the more they bought, the more he earned. Yes, there are more in the backyard. I'll take you there. In the storeroom of the backyard, there were over 100 raw stones. Qinyang's eyes lit up. He didn't expect this guy had hidden some high-quality stones. He casually wandered around the pile of stones, picking 3 pieces for Su Yulan, costing 180,000, 1 piece for Lu Sisi for 50,000, 3 pieces for Dingxiang for 210,000, 1 piece for Xiaoya for 3,000, and 1 piece for Tingting for 4,000. Finally, he chose 5 pieces for himself, costing 450,000. The man in the floral shirt was grinning from ear to ear. This guy was clearly foolishly rich, buying raw stones as if picking watermelons. Casually glancing and spending over 800,000. The customer is king, and of course, he had to provide enthusiastic service. Sir, you've bought so many raw stones. It's inconvenient to carry them. In my shop, we have a cutting machine. Would you like to cut the stones on the spot? The women were about to say yes, but were interrupted by Qinyang. No, we're short on time today. Let us transport them back, and we can cut them tomorrow when we have time. The man in the floral shirt looked a bit disappointed. All right, we offer delivery and cutting services here. I'll find someone to deliver them for you. Don't worry. I'll cover the delivery fee. Qinyang smiled. Sure, the boss is generous. Your business will surely thrive. Soon, a delivery person arrived with a trailer to help Qinyang transport the goods. After turning a corner and walking over 200 meters, Qinyang and the women entered a shop specializing in stone cutting. Lu Sisi looked puzzled. Qinyang, that boss just now was clearly trying to scam us. Why didn't you call the police, and why did you buy his stones? Qinyang smiled. What is the use of calling the police? Catching him. It won't have any impact on him since it doesn't constitute a criminal offense. But buying his stones is a different matter. Lu Sisi was confused. How is it different? Giving him money is a punishment? Then why don't you give me some money to punish me? Qinyang countered with a question. Do you know why I didn't cut the stones in his shop? The women shook their heads in unison. Why? Chapter 104. A paradise of cutting stones. Prices surge again. Huh. Qinyang pointed to a pile of raw stones in front of him. Because all the stones in his shop that can yield good results are right here. Xiao Yu's eyes lit up. So, the more than 100 stones he has left are all waste? Qinyang nodded. Exactly. From now on, every stone he cuts will fall apart. It won't be long before word gets out, and the remaining raw stones will become worthless rocks. Not only will he have to deal with them, but he will also have to pay to transport them away, treating them as garbage. Qinyang chuckled. Wow, so many big stones, they're not light. Hearing this, the women finally laughed in relief. Haha, Yangge, you're so bad. Qinyang, you're really too bad. Suddenly, everyone thought of a question. What about the raw stones they bought? Could they all rise in value? Xiaoyu was the first to ask. Yangge, I spent 3,000 on this stone. Are you sure it won't go to waste? This girl usually scrimped and saved, always thinking of sending every penny home. 3,000 was indeed a significant amount for her. Earlier, she supported Su Yulan, and since everyone else was buying, she couldn't just sit back. Now looking back, she felt impulsive. Ting Ting also felt a bit regretful. Yangge, I spent 4,000 on this stone too. I've heard that in stone gambling, one cut can lead to paradise, and another can lead to hell. Wait a minute, could my cut lead to hell? The other girls, although silent, looked at Qinyang in unison. They were gambling on stones for the novelty of it, and didn't truly expect to make a profit. However, if they could profit, who would complain about having too much money? Qinyang rubbed his temples. Why are you all looking at me? Didn't we come to the stone gambling shop? If there are jade stones, one cut will reveal everything. Saying this, he asked the shopkeeper for a piece of chalk. He drew a line on each stone. Master, please cut along the lines I've drawn. No need to wipe, just make a clean cut. Although the stone cutter didn't understand, he followed the customer's instructions. He did this every day, gambling on whether the stones would yield profits or losses. It didn't concern him as long as he got paid for the cutting service. The machine whirred to life. Xiao Yu's stone was the smallest and was the first to be cut open. Did it increase? Xiao Yu asked excitedly. The master took it out and rinsed it. A hint of green appeared before their eyes. It increased. Before Xiao Yu could take the raw stone, a nearby jade dealer rushed over, shouting excitedly, I want this stone. 50,000. Little girl, can you sell it to me? Xiao Yu was overjoyed. From 3,000 to 50,000 in a flash. Ding Xiang took a look and nodded. 50,000 is a fair price. Just like that, money exchanged hands. And Xiao Yu made a huge profit on the spot. Her little face turned red with joy. Thank you, Yangge. I'll treat you to a meal later. Lu Sisi joked. Are you treating Yangge to a meal without me? Ding Xiang joined in the fun. It's a happy occasion. We all want to share some good luck. Xiaoyu, what do you think? Xiaoyu hesitated. With just a little money. Do you big stars and bosses come to mooch food? Will I end up paying some money too? Qinyang quickly helped her out. Don't tease her. It's not easy to make a little profit. Don't let you all take it away. Wait a moment. Someone will definitely want a treat, he assured. Next was Ting Ting's stone. Did it increase again? The stone cutter opened the cut surface, and another jade dealer snatched it away. This one is mine. No one can take it from me. I'll offer 40,000. Can you sell it to me? Ting Ting covered her mouth in disbelief. She had spent 4,000, thinking it was gone forever, but unexpectedly, it had multiplied tenfold. Thank you, Yanggu. I want to treat you to a meal too. Qinyang smiled, realizing he wouldn't be able to finish all the meals he'd be treated to today. Next was Lu Cici's stone. She only had one, but it was quite large. The stone cutter went through his process and finally cut it open. Everyone was excited as they saw the vibrant green color. Is it glass type? It's quite sizable. Another big jade dealer had already positioned himself, hugging the raw stone tightly and refusing to let go. I'll offer 2 million for this raw stone. Let us see who dares to compete with me. Xiaoyu and Ting Ting gasped, covering their mouths. Ding Xiang and Su Yulan also looked at Qinyang in shock. Lu Cici was quite startled, spending 50,000 to earn back 2 million. The profit margins have skyrocketed. Hiring Qinyang only cost 1 million. Now he has turned around and helped himself to a profit of 2 million. No, it's actually 3 million. Previously, he also made 1 million from Brother Xiong. This bodyguard was truly worth it. 3 raw stones were cut, and all 3 saw significant increases. At this point, everyone is completely convinced of Chun Yang's ability to select stones. They are also looking forward to what effect the remaining stones will yield. There are still 3 stones from Su Yulan, 3 from Ding Xiang, and 5 from Chen Yang. As expected, all 3 of Su Yulan's stones surged in value, worth 600,000, 1, 2 million and 1, 8 million respectively, totaling 3, 6 million. They were all snatched up by the onlooking jade merchants. Su Yulan was so excited that her face turned red. Today, not only did she avoid a loss of 2 million, but she also made over 3 million in profit. All of this is thanks to Qinyang. Qinyang, I don't even know how to thank you, Su Yulan said, her chest heaving with emotion. Qinyang, however, remained calm. Miss Yulan, how about treating me to a meal? Su Yulan giggled, losing a bit of her cool demeanor and gaining a touch of sweetness. How about a bowl of fried rice? Qinyang was taken aback. The other women burst into laughter. When it came to Ding Xiang's 3 stones, everyone was prepared. However, the final results still left the women in shock. 1 stone was worth 900,000, another 2, 1 million, and the last one 8 million, totaling 11 million. This time, Ding Xiang didn't sell to the jade merchants. I'll take them back and process them into jewelry myself. I believe the final selling price should be over 20 million. Wow. The girls were utterly astonished. Ding Xiang spent only 210,000 to acquire 20 million worth of jade. That is a 100-fold profit. At this moment, Lu Cici, feeling a bit jealous, nudged Qinyang. We've known each other for so long. Su Yulan made 6 million, Ding Xiang made 20 million, and I only made 2 million. What do you mean by that? Am I not as beautiful as they are? Qinyang was speechless. What does buying a stone have to do with beauty? Finally, he had to explain somewhat awkwardly. This time, it was initiated by Su Yulan, so giving her a bit more is also a form of compensation. As for Ding Xiang, she is in the jade business, so it's reasonable for her to have more raw materials, right? Lu Cici pouted and whispered, I don't care. You must compensate me in the future. Qinyang was helpless. I'm already your bodyguard. How else can I compensate you? Sell myself? Or should I give you my stone? Lu Cici shook her head. I don't want that. You need to prepare a special gift for me. Qinyang had no choice but to agree. All right, I'll think about it. Lu Cici finally smiled happily. In the end, it was Qinyang's turn. He had 5 raw stones. The women were all curious. Would they see a surge this time? How much would they be worth? Of course. What excited the jade dealers even more were the ones beside them. They were already red-eyed, ready to sprint like in a 100-meter race. Once the signal was given, they would dash forward immediately. The top-quality jade must belong to me. Chapter 105. Want money, not life? Are you still looking for bargains? The stone cutter had become numb. After so many years of cutting stones, this was the first time he encountered such a situation. Every piece was increasing in value. It was unprecedented, a first-time experience. Today, he set a new record. After 20 years in the industry, his previous highest record was cutting 5 consecutive pieces that increased in value. Now, he had already achieved 9 consecutive increases. What does this mean? A 90 chance. At least a 90 certainty to bet on an increase. He had never heard of any stone betting master achieving such a high probability. It was said that the renowned master Xinyan only had a 30 chance, which was already remarkable in the stone betting world. A 90 chance? How could that be possible? Today was destined to be a crazy day for the stone cutter and the jade dealers watching. Qinyang's 5 raw stones once again refreshed their understanding. The first piece was worth 1 million, the second 5 million, the third 6 million, the fourth 12 million, and the fifth 45 million. Qinyang only spent 450,000, but obtained jade raw stones worth a total of 2 million. Not to mention the women being stunned. The jade dealers had already gone mad. For the best raw stone, two bosses fought fiercely, ending up with bruises. The winner obtained the final purchasing rights. Qinyang made a whopping 2 million profit. As Qinyang left the stone